On tonight's episode of the Gamecasters, we talk about all the games we've been playing recently. We do another Natalie's Nook for you. We play a game, and then we end the show with our top 5 Uwe Rosenberg games. Stay tuned. Gamers, and welcome back to episode 63 of the Gamecasters, the show that throws convention out the window and whose recording schedule is as mysterious as Natalie's dad's love for Enrique Iglesias. But we're here now, so surprise! We've got a lot of great stuff lined up for you today, like this. Natalie, Jeff, are you ready to learn?
Yep.
Did you know that no number from 1 to 999 has the letter A in its word form?
The letter A in its word form?
So, O-N-E-T-W-O-T-H-R-E, all the way up to 999. There's no letter A.
Wow.
Not until you get to 1,000.
Now 1,000.
Really?
Isn't that weird? I know, it's a crazy one. I made it up, so I don't know if it's right. Did you know?
You did not.
No, I didn't. Poganophobia is the fear of beards.
Pogs.
Oh, how's that pogs too?
There's a fear of beards. The only beard I have is the female beard.
Oh my god.
That would be Natalie, right? So I wonder if, does that make you run away and scream? Are you?
I think you're just frightened. Yeah, you are, because for it to be a phobia, I think you have to have a debilitating fear.
Beards are in now.
Oh,
for the last
has beards.
decade, beards have been
yeah, that's
the
thing.
So that's a
people
tough
that I've ever
phobia
seen
to have.
afraid of beards are babies.
Babies are afraid of beards?
Maybe those are all babies.
I've seen babies
Maybe
who
poganophobia.
anybody with a beard,
fear.
they cry.
What's the fear of babies?
What? See, I don't find that the case though, Natalie, because I think babies are attracted to beards in a lot of times because there's such a there's the color here and then the color here. What's that called?
Contrast?
Yes. There's such a contrast that babies are attracted to. Everyone loves beards.
Everyone loves beards.
Beards are
except poganophobia.
Except these poganophobians. If you have poganophobia, let me know. If you see a picture of Jeff and you just want to run away screaming, and it's because of his beard, not because of his extreme sex appeal,
then you should definitely not follow being friends.
Yeah,
Evan,
good point.
Evan has
or listen to ZZ Top.
Yeah, Evan's got a beard.
Evan's got a beard. Is he the only bearded one?
He's the bearded one.
He's the bearded one.
If the other ones have
he's
beards,
the one
they're
who
not.
shows his face the most, so I don't remember.
The other one shows that
the
beard.
I mean,
the one guy shows his butt.
He's the one who makes all the.
Did you know
stories.
Mulan has the highest kill count of any Disney character?
I can believe that. I would
killed
believe
over
that.
2,000 people in that.
Well, she's a
She's
warrior.
awesome.
She is a warrior, but you don't usually see murder in Disney movies.
Yeah,
you know
someone else went on into the kill counts.
Sully almost died when he thought that the little girl was crushed into that garbage cube.
Yeah.
Remember that?
So that would have been one.
Yeah.
For Bo.
For Boo.
For Boo. Is their name?
Yeah.
Boo.
Boo would have had one kill. Did you know the inventor of Pringles is buried in a Pringles can?
Like a giant Pringles can? Or did they
No, a regular. So when he died, I know, his kids went to a convenience store and bought an original Pringles can. I don't know if they ate them or if they emptied it.
Ate him?
No!
He ate the
and then
kids?
poured his ashes in.
Oh, his ashes are in there.
Yeah, his ashes are in there. They didn't stuff his body in there like exploding snakes.
Well, good luck digging them up.
God.
We gotta exhume the body, they pop out. Hey! Pringles!
Did you know Dr. Seuss invented the word nerd?
What?
Yeah, in a book he wrote in 1977, it talks about flurgles and blurgles and nerds, and then that was appropriated.
How did it get
into the lexicon? I read it. It was I don't think it was Rolling Stone, but some other news source took that and they were all these kids now, dweebs, geeks, and nerds by Dr. Seuss or something like that.
So pre-1977, that word didn't exist?
Yeah, that word was not a thing. Weird, right?
Very
now
weird.
you know. And the last one. Did you know Captain Crunch's full name is Captain Horatio Magellan Crunch?
I like that.
I know.
Horatio.
Horatio Magellan.
The only other Horatio I know is Horatio Sands.
Horatio Sands.
We just talked about him the other day.
Well, because Natalie always talks about we were watching Chopped, and they're talking about the ratio of something, and I'm like, Horatio Sands.
Horatio Sands.
And then he's like, "Do you even know who that is?" And I was like, "Yes."
Yes. I
She
watch
doesn't know a lot of
Mad
things 'cause
TV.
she's very,
Yes, I
very
do.
young. Very young.
I know a lot of things.
You're the
I just
youngest
don't know
one
everything.
in this house, except for right now. Are you older than Jeff?
Yes.
Yeah,
Do we know that?
Yeah.
we did.
Remember? Didn't you
I know.
just-
So I went back and listened to one of our first episodes as the three of us.
Yeah.
And you made almost the same comment to Natalie about Natalie's
Age?
young, and then Natalie snapped and was like, "I'm older than Jeff."
Oh, right.
Like this was a
Classic
game.
Natalie, yeah.
She got a point. So
Did she get the belt?
she got a point for that for being older. It was just so funny how quick she came.
We'll
in.
apply that point to
I'm not
a
that.
game.
I'm like 1 or 2 years older than you. Not
We could find out if we just share our age.
The years of the
I'm
birth.
35.
I'm
Whoa.
33.
Whoa.
2 years.
I'm some
and we're both in
age
December, so
older
it
than
is
most.
almost exactly 2
Yeah.
years.
Wow. And yeah, because you're December.
Did
beast
you
days.
know that
Did
we
you know?
are 2 years apart?
So, speaking of Chopped, we have been watching a ton
That's all we've
of that show lately. You know how the show works,
Yeah.
right? Have you seen it a bunch? So there you got 4 contestants that come together to cook food in a short amount of time with super weird ingredients that they have to transform into something delicious, right? One by one, they're chopped until there's a winner who gets 10 G's. We don't have 10 G's, but we're going to play that shiz
Darn.
right now. Darn. Like,
darn.
I give you $10,000. It's the same shit.
Yeah, the only
Well, are you judging us?
I would be the winner or the loser in that. You would just hand each other back money, and
Yeah,
I would have to
that's
pay you 10,000, or I would get 10,000.
No, what we're gonna do is so I wasn't originally I was not going to participate.
own,
yeah.
yeah.
And then I was like, I told you guys about it, and Jeff was like, "Are you gonna do one?" And I was like, "Oh, I guess I could." So I did. It's very anyway. So we're gonna try it. Okay. So what I want us to do is each of us get the same 4 ingredients, and you're just gonna make a board game out of it. A concept, of course. You don't have to actually
Yeah.
see it to prototype.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
And then what
It's
we're
on
gonna do?
BGA if you want to play it.
Yeah, is we're gonna put these up. Maybe I'll put them up on Instagram, and then we
Oh,
can
boy,
let the
you didn't
people.
tell me this.
And we can let the people vote. Well, we'll see, depending on how dirty yours is.
I'm not dirty.
Okay, here
I'm
are the 4
normal.
ingredients.
We know
And
Ryan's
actually,
is.
here's what I'll do. People at home, come up
Yeah.
with your own. You're going to come up with a board game in a Chopped format. So the way it works is I'm going to give you these 4 ingredients. You have to use these 4 ingredients in your game in some way. You can go to the pantry and use other ingredients as well. But here's the 4 you have to use. Number 1, Star Wars Lego figures. Number 2, a set of polyhedral dice, which is just like, dice.
Regular dice.
Yeah, D&D dice.
They just call it regular.
I asked him that. I was like,
Yeah.
"What
He's like,
is?"
what the heck are polyhedral dice? I'm like, dice. Like you go and you get some D&D dice. Or
Whatever dice you want.
Number 3, poop meeples.
Poop meeples.
And last, a box of unused tampons.
Thank you for clarifying unused. It's greatly appreciated.
Well, I did hem and haw about that for a while.
yeah,
ultimately
I might have
decided
vetoed the other
unused
one.
are
We
better.
might
Yeah,
have.
me too. It's
Yeah.
disgusting.
Well, that was unfortunately not an option.
Okay.
There's no veto.
Oh,
Okay,
okay.
so here we go. Natalie, I want to start with you.
Oh, boy.
All right, Natalie.
What do you got?
Okay.
Started off like, Chef, today I've prepared for you.
Do you have? I don't have a name of my game.
He told me that I should do. He was like,
Well, I'll
try to think
I
of
was
a
like,
name
do I need
while
to
we're
name it?
doing
He's like, no, but I would. And then I felt like I had
Yeah.
to.
You don't
No,
have
you
to,
idiot.
but I mean, you should. No,
Okay.
it doesn't matter. All right, go ahead. What do you got?
So my game is called A Whole New World.
Oh, is whole spelled HOLE?
No.
Damn it. That was an opportunity. All right.
Okay, so it's a worker placement game where a group of space explorers made up of a Wookiee, a Jedi, a Yoda, and a pilot.
A Yoda.
One Yoda.
A Wookiee and a Yoda. Like Yoda's his race.
Yeah.
I don't remember what his race
That's
is.
all
Well,
right.
he doesn't. I don't know
It's
if
a Yoda.
anyone knows. So yeah.
Yeah. And they travel around and discover new planets and their species.
Okay.
The worker placement actions include things like explore an area, travel to new planet, activate space boat, analyze new species,
Wait, hold on.
etc.
Activate space boat.
Space boat.
You'll find out more
Okay, all
about
right.
it.
I'm intrigued.
Yeah, I want to know what space boat is.
I think this is a game. Are we playing board game or bullshit here? This is a game.
The poop meeples are collected during the explore phase.
Of course.
And used in the analyze new species phase to find out if the feces is from an unknown
Species.
newly
A species.
discovered
I know. You
species.
missed another
That'd be a good one.
opportunity.
Maybe that should be the name.
The species feces.
Species.
Yeah.
Species.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna
Species,
change it
species.
to that.
Okay.
So they basically analyze the poop to find out if it's a brand new species or if it's has been discovered by another player already. A lot of the planets you travel to have water. The Tampax Pearl with blue plastic applicator is your spaceship. When you use the space...
Hey, you got a spaceship, yeah.
When you use the worker placement space to activate your space boat, you push the end of the applicator and out pops a floating device for water travel.
That's great. That's awesome.
You can now travel over water.
But only once.
Only once for about a week.
Yeah.
I did all that, and I was like, oh yeah, dice. And I was like, the dice is used to go on action spaces like Kingsburg.
Like Kingsburg. Well,
Natalie,
Wait,
first
you
of
get
all- you're
points
not
for
done.
newly discovered species
went.
and being the first
Mine's not
to
this one.
explore new
Species, and
planets.
here's
That's
mine.
I don't know.
well done.
Beautiful. Okay, I got to tell you, I love this theme. Has this nutty, buttery oakness to it that I just love. I think what you've done here, transforming the tampon into a flotation device, was a great idea. I love it. However, you didn't seem to really transform the dice
Ryan's being the judge.
very much.
I know.
And I got to say, you really missed an opportunity there with the name of the game.
Yeah, species.
I think Species Feces would have been an excellent idea.
That's much better. I'm going to cross it
Species
off.
feces.
So
Like
if
that.
you win, what are you going to do with the winnings?
Oh, well, you know, I just really like helping out the homeless. It just makes my heart feel so good. So I'm probably going to
Help
find
the
a home
homeless.
for some dogs in my house.
Stop doing that, 'cause now I got money for me. All right, Jeff, what have you prepared for us today?
I have prepared a game called The Exploration of Poopiter. Okay? Instead of Ryan was drinking and just choked on him.
Oh my gosh. Okay, I wasn't.
This game is called The
wasn't ready for
Exploration of Poopiter.
Okay.
It's kind of like Jupiter with poop. You get it?
I get it.
Now,
Oh,
in this competitive combat game, players take the role as Mandalorians on the planet Poopiter.
nice.
Players are fighting each other to gather poop or shit from the planet, which has just recently been discovered as the most renewable, effective, and powerful fuel.
Oh, I love
Yep.
that.
In a unique combat system, players load tampons into their Mandalorian's weapons and pull the trigger. The tampon string determines the attack's range, and a simple roll of the dice determines its strength.
Oh my god, you should have gone last.
Stay away, but not too far away from your opponents. Who will be the most admired Mandalorian in the galaxy? You, perhaps.
Oh,
Wow, that's
Scheiße.
impressive. I'm glad I went first.
Jeff, I got to tell you, you know, this is a crazy, weird thing here. I love, but it tastes so good in my brain.
You took some
love
risks,
it.
but it worked.
Okay.
I think it really paid off for you. I definitely do. If you make it into the next round, what are you going to do with your winnings?
Well, I really like helping the homeless, so I guess I'll probably do that.
I like when we just crack up at that.
Well, that's why
Everybody
it's
on Chopped has some crazy sob story. No one's just like, I'm going to buy a motorcycle.
Yeah, I'm just probably
I'm
going to
gonna
put
go
my
on
bank.
vacation.
Yeah.
Like, I'll probably just put it in my bank account, and then
Buy
later
some
I'll
board
pay us
games.
some debt.
I'll spend it
Yeah.
throughout the next
Got
few
some debt I wanna
years.
pay
on
off.
it.
No, everyone's like, well, you know, my son has cerebral palsy. Like, there's always
It's
some
always
like
sad.
terrible
Yeah.
story.
And it's like, why don't we just give everybody that money?
Yeah, I know. All right.
All right, Ryan, what do you got? What do you got for
I
us
can't believe
today?
I'm following Jeff here. My game is called Sperminate, the Discipline.
Oh, the discipline.
In this game, players take on the role of a series of sperm played by the tampons at the tender age of a young man's life,
Played by?
where he does a lot of experimentation to his own body. Players use their dice to determine how likely it is that they will achieve. They start with a d20, which gives a good chance that they'll relieve themselves constantly. As they progress throughout the game, they'll get lower value dice, learning discipline and timing. You're taking your meeples, the Star Wars figures, and moving around the various locations, traps, if you will, like the internet or girls' volleyball tournament. And if you can avoid release, you take a number of poop meeples, which are victory points.
Just poop meeples?
Yeah, because they kind of like...
Yeah.
go wrong,
Yeah, I get it.
Okay, the game works in a series of mini games. So first you're moving your meeples around the board to the various locations. Say I go to the volleyball tournament. I then play a mini game there with whatever dice I have. Maybe I draw a card and it says, one of the girls hits the ball towards you and runs over to pick it up. You see her bend over and can't help yourself. Roll your highest die and consult the chart to see if you make it through.
Make it.
If you end up releasing, you take this tampon sperm, remove the applicator, and if you have to remove the applicator on 3 sperm, you lose. The game ends in a victory for all the other players.
God. So it's trying to like
I like that. So the first
keep your
so this
boners
is
under
a,
control.
Yeah.
This is one person loses and everybody else wins.
Yes.
I
Yeah.
like that.
So you're
Yeah.
it's kind of like you're
Hive
all
mind.
trying to like hive mind scoring system.
I like
Yeah.
it. That's good.
Wow. Mine is like, wow.
Yours was way more of like could have been a game.
Yeah.
yours is real
I
and
feel like I
fun.
took it more serious.
Well, You did. I'm very impressed with both of yours, to be honest with
Really?
you. Very impressed.
Thanks.
I think Poopiter is a genius, name.
Instead of Jupiter.
I think the flotation device.
that was
Now you have a boat.
Yep, now you just got a boat.
Space boat
Space boat.
was genius. I loved that stuff. Okay. So we've had a few setbacks this year. My dad passed away at the beginning of the year, which really messed up our daily lives. And then almost immediately after that, Natalie and I came down with COVID, which is why we didn't record the last episode. And it just completely fucked us. Faster and harder than the first scene of Edward Penis Hands. It was the worst sickness either of us have ever had, and we were both the worst sick at the same time. We couldn't go anywhere or do anything to get away from it, and neither of us could take care of each other because we were both, really, really sick.
Yeah.
And just suffered for about 2 weeks solid. Dude, my eyeballs hurt. I could not move my eyeballs around in my skull without
That achy
pain.
feeling from even just a regular flu, right?
Yeah.
That achy feeling is the
It
worst.
sucks so bad. I couldn't move my eyeballs, which was the worst. I still haven't regained my sense of smell and taste.
Really?
Yeah, I can't taste or smell
mine
anything.
came back.
Which is great because old Windguster here has been testing her superpowers out every chance
man.
she
No,
gets.
although
That's not
not
That was
true.
surprising. I didn't expect. Sometimes I see the fart jokes coming.
Yeah.
That
that's
snuck
not
in there.
true.
That was good.
But I will say, while we were sick, because we were just so blah, and didn't want to do any sort of activity at all.
Mm-hmm.
I remember I was like, I feel like I forgot to apply deodorant for the last 5 days, and I was like, whatever, no one can smell.
Yeah, I was. I've been painting miniatures, which we can talk about in a little bit with Ben and Ken on stream. And so Wednesday happened, and I was like, oh man, I should put a shirt on for the stream. I mean, I had a t-shirt on, but I wanted to put another shirt on. And I picked up my sweatshirt off the floor, and it was sopping wet on one arm. And the dogs were right there. And I was like, oh no, the dogs peed on it.
Ugh.
And I bring it up to my nose and I'm like, well, I can't smell it. So I just put it on. I put it on anyway, and I was like, well, no one can
I
smell
smelled it. It
no, I
wasn't
can smell it though, but it's wet.
Well, okay. I made it sound like I said it was sopping wet. It was one little spot.
Also, it was on the floor next to the dog's water bowl.
Is that your only one?
Well,
My only sweatshirt was lying on the ground.
well, it was seconds before I was supposed to be on, and I was like, "Oh shit, I need my shirt!" So I just ran up and grabbed it, sat down,
Oh, okay,
and I
all right.
put it on as I was going, and then I realized "Oh, it's kind of wet," and then I smelled it. I smelled nothing, so I could have been sitting on stream with a dog urine
you weren't. I smelled it.
sweatshirt. Yeah, but can you smell?
Yes, I can smell.
You can smell now.
I've been smelling for days. Remember?
Join us
I
for
thought
our
you'd been
next game of
tasting,
Can
but-
Natalie Smell?
No,
can
remember I
Natalie
smell our dinner
I want
cooking.
Natalie to give me a smell or a taste test because I can
Yeah.
You know how blind people can still sense and detect light? So they can, right? They're blind, but if the light turns on, they can tell that there's a light on.
Okay.
Right.
I think.
It's
I think so.
yeah, most blind people aren't just it's not just black.
I think they can sense light and stuff like
Right.
that. So my taste is kind of like that. I can detect spice. If something's really spicy, that kind of comes
For
through.
a while, he said everything tasted spicy.
Everything.
Wow.
Chicken wings, salad, Natalie.
Oh my
Everything
God.
just tasted.
Well, the weirdest thing to me,
Ooh, spicy.
the weirdest thing about losing my taste and smell was that we didn't realize that we did. People were like, "Did you lose your taste and smell?" And I was like, "No." And then then I was like, "Did I?"
But here's why, and I have
Yeah.
the reason
this
for
is your
that.
theory.
Because when you eat something and you because we can see, right? We're not blind, so your brain kind of tells your mouth
What it should taste
What it should
like.
taste
so
like,
you
and
can't
so you
tell
kind
if
of
you're actually tasting
it's
it.
phantom
or not.
taste. It's weird.
Yeah, we were actually
Might be
eating
right.
Taco Bell was when we first discovered it because I was eating something and I was like, "Can you taste this?" And he was like, "Not really."
I was like, I don't think so.
Because it's when
Can
there's
you?
a mix of
Yeah, you
flavors.
gotta do a blindfold taste test or something.
Yeah, that's what I want to
Smell
do.
things.
Give me an orange kickstart and a red kickstart, and can I taste the difference between the two?
Right. And for me,
Because it's got to have the same
My
texture.
gosh, this is
Even-
going to happen at lunch.
even when
Okay.
that's a good idea.
Okay.
Even when I lost my taste.
We'll be right back.
Yeah. Even when I lost my taste, I could just barely taste things that were strong. If I ate a really ripe banana, I could kind of taste it. Or if we had ice cream and there was chunks of chocolate in it, I could only
Or a
taste that
banana.
part of it.
Chunks of banana.
If there was a
It's
raw
all
banana
related to
inside
banana.
the ice cream, I
Or
could
I had a
taste
smoothie,
that.
a strawberry banana smoothie. I can kind of taste the banana.
It was interesting.
Yeah, it's still happening
It
to me,
sucked.
so it blows.
did that. Yeah, that sickness sucked.
Yeah, it was the worst. It was honestly the worst thing that's ever happened.
Why it's a global pandemic, and you know
Yeah.
It sucks.
it's very serious.
It's like some people, it
so
affects
you know.
everyone differently, I know.
Yeah,
So, like, some
yeah.
people are like, oh, I just had a cough and a sneeze and it's fine. I'm like, you son of a bitch.
Right.
We were, like, laid out for, like, weeks.
Well, and then another thing is, like, everything, like, you read about it calls it, like, a respiratory virus, and we didn't really have any respiratory
That was the
issues.
one thing that
we didn't
didn't
have
really
shortness
happen.
of breath. We didn't
That's
have,
the best
like,
thing to not have, because
Yes.
those are the
Yeah.
long-term problems, is that respiratory.
Right.
So,
Like,
I mean, I had
that's
a
good.
cough.
Right, like, I'd say
I had
we
a
had,
bad
like...
cough.
Yeah, but like
I can always breathe.
I was coughing a little bit, but I wouldn't even consider it like alarming, like a bad cough. It was just, something.
Well, mine was like in my head. I felt like I had a lot of congestion. You
yeah,
know,
yours
and it was
almost
like
a head cold.
yeah,
symptom,
it was really
besides
weird.
Yeah, the worst part for us was the fever with the constant like chills, sweating, body aches, and then once that was gone, it was just like the absolute zero energy. Like we would like. I think one day I like took the garbage cans up from the driveway, and I was like, "Oh my god, I overdid
I'm done
it!
for the next
Oh my
3 days."
god!"
Oh.
Like
That
and
sucks.
that's,
Well, you'd
like,
be shivering, like literally shivering, like you have a
Yeah.
fever, and then 1 second later, like you'd be shivering for 20 minutes straight, cannot get warm, and then literally it would just switch, and then you'd be sweating as hard as you've ever sweated in your life,
Yeah.
and that would happen just over and over and over, even when you didn't, even after the fever was over.
Oh yeah,
you'd still have
even
that.
after the fever was over, I'd be fine all day. Then like 5 o'clock hits, and I'm like, I have the chills again, and even though I take my temperature and there's no fever, it just kept like happening. It was just the weirdest thing. It was basically like. It was unlike any other sickness, so you didn't know what to expect, because you would like think like, oh, my fever broke, I'm gonna start getting better, but why don't I feel better?
Yeah,
it's like very slowly getting better, and so it's like you didn't know what to expect or what was gonna happen next, because it's unlike everything else that I've ever had. It's just
Sucks.
weird.
It was crazy.
I'm glad you guys are.
It was
Me too,
crazy.
but we're good now.
back.
Yeah, we're on the up and up. We're getting our first vaccine this coming up
Cool.
week,
Yep.
which is awesome.
Congratulations.
Thank you. We're
Because
we're
we
looking forward to that.
I tested positive like the day before we were eligible to get the vaccine, so I was like, damn
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, we got it right at the end
Yeah.
when the vaccines are coming, which is
Right.
long. So Jeff, what's been up with you, man?
Well, we're on pause with the basement, so the basement carpet's coming this week.
Okay.
So by the
do you
next
mean you're
time
on
we
pause?
record,
You're waiting
well, it was
to get the carpet?
It was supposed to
I
happen
can't do
last
anything.
week.
Like we can't move anything down there, kind of
Sure.
get things ready. So we're just waiting on carpet, which should be next week. I finished my master's. I don't know if I told you. guys
Whoa!
that.
Congratulations.
That's
No,
awesome.
Yeah.
What?
In education administration, so I can be a
wow, would never
principal.
have-
You can?
Yeah, I can
That's
be a principal
cool.
if I want to. I have no
What about
interest
a
in that
vice
right
principal?
now. I could be a vice principal also,
Like Bill Sims
or an assistant principal, depending on
or a
And
janitor. You can do whatever you want.
I can do
It's up to
whatever I
you.
want.
Yeah, you can
It's
go
my
from
world.
student to principal and anywhere in between.
Yep.
Yep.
Up to you, man.
So yeah, that was a huge relief that that's done, and I have no interest in really being a principal right now. But
Yeah, but maybe
it's an
one day.
option. It comes with
Could
it comes
you-
with a pay raise.
Could you be an administrator in like on the collegiate level with that degree?
like a dean?
Yeah.
I don't.
Or do you have to be like?
I don't know. You might have to have a doctorate. I'm really not
Yeah,
sure of
probably
how
not.
that works, or if who they hire for stuff
Yeah.
It's like
like
a
that.
whole different school.
But I
system.
could, like,
Yeah.
at this point, having a master's in administration, I could go and I could teach college level education, sort of. So that could be something that,
Okay.
for like education students.
yeah, right. And be like,
cool.
what are you doing going into teaching? No,
It's just
no,
basically-
no one's going into
Jesus.
teaching anyway.
There's
but-
no
It just
money in
opens
this.
up more opportunities.
yeah, it opens up more opportunities. It was something that
That's
I was,
awesome,
yeah.
dude.
That's really
So I'm just
cool.
glad it's done. I'm not going back to school ever again. So that's
Yeah,
that's the end
I don't
of
blame
it.
you.
Yeah.
But
Well,
yeah, that's
except
kind
for
of
your job on
You don't wanna
Monday.
get the
except for my
double
actual real job, no, or a doctorate. Yeah.
You have to go to school, Jeff.
Yeah, I have to go to school, but I get to be I get to
Right,
do this.
you don't wanna be
It's
the-
my class.
yeah.
Yeah, so that's really been that took over my life for a while, and
How long
now
did
we're
it
That's
take
awesome,
you?
man.
it
Congrats.
took me 2 years. So
Oh, okay.
Good for
Yeah.
you.
Awesome.
That's
Thanks.
sweet. That's very cool.
yeah, thanks.
That is.
That's
very
it. That's all I got.
Awesome. Well, dude, you're not going to believe it, but we actually played some games over the last couple of weeks.
No, you didn't.
Not this one in front of us here, but we have. They were mostly role playing in nature, and mostly in the bedroom, and mostly involved Natalie saying things like, "Well, I guess you're gonna have to punish me then." But I always seem to win.
God.
Yeah.
The only bad thing was the setup always takes a lot longer than the actual game itself, which is like 2 minutes.
Oh my god! Why are you so
But
mean to
man, did I
yourself?
have fun. Natalie always seemed disappointed
Why are you so
afterwards.
mean to yourself,
but who
Ryan?
cares? Because I won, and then for some reason I always seem to fall asleep. Anyway,
Tiring game.
aside from that, we played about 3 actual games.
I'm shocked.
About.
The first one is going to require a bit of a public apology. Jeff told me I needed to issue a
Yeah,
statement.
Jeff
do.
demanded you apologize.
I demanded that this happen.
And not just once. multiple times.
At
I was
least two
like, I'm not
times.
apologizing. He was like, yes, you are. You must.
He's like, you have to.
After a lot of soul searching, I have decided to release the following. Dear good people at CMON and Spin Master Games, please accept my deepest apologies for belittling and absolutely obliterating the game Marvel United in a recent episode of the Gamecasters. It was not right for me to say that it wasn't fit for use as toilet paper on the rectum of my dogs. It wasn't.
Did he say that?
It was
Your
also
dogs?
wrong to imply that the gameplay and difficulty were easier than a pay-what-you-want prostitute. I also probably shouldn't have mentioned that the components were flimsier than an impotent 70-year-old man without his Viagra prescription. I see now that saying this game was as unfinished as Natalie in the bedroom was wrong and detestable. It was not my intention to create such an embarrassing situation for myself, and I will strive to do better and bring pride and virtue to myself in the future. If there was anything good that came of this experience, it was the hilarity I found in the way in which I destroyed the game. And I believe that since then I have grown as both a writer and an expresser of my feelings. However, I would like to immediately take back all the bad things I said, thought, acted out in charades, because as it turns out, this game did not deserve any of that. Seriously, I don't know what happened, but we got all the expansion materials from Marvel United, and for some reason, I decided to open and play them with the family. And holy hand grenade, this game turned out to be so much fun. We played it over and over with different heroes, different villains, and we just had an absolute blast. Natalie and I have started painting miniatures with the red-hot fervor of 100 suns.
Is that the scale at which you paint?
I guess. Just
Like you either aren't painting or
Well,
you're
we're just
painting at the
obsessed.
scale.
Well, I just feel like we did not just go like, yeah, let's just paint.
Let's try it out.
We jumped in.
Yeah. Well,
like,
it started because on Wednesdays, Ryan streams with Ben
so I am
and
now
Ken.
streaming. Yeah, Ben and Ken from the Date Night Dice podcast. And anyone else who wants to join in and paint with us is welcome to. We're trying to get Mick Dave Mick and Mr. Measles involved in this in some way. And so Natalie's going to start painting with us on stream.
Yeah.
And we're going to just kind of make it, what we're planning on doing is we all are buying Marvel United base sets, okay? And we're going to paint the same miniature each week on stream.
Mm-hmm.
So depending on how many of us from probably as small as 3 of us to as many as potentially 6 or more of us are going to paint the same miniature, and then we're going to post them on social media on our Instagram page, and then you guys can tell us which one you like the best.
Yeah.
And so
With no names associated.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Like
I'm just gonna put them
Weekly
up.
awards.
Yep, and
that's cool.
Right, and then we will
Yeah,
just say,
that'd be
okay, the
fun.
one you picked was Natalie's because Natalie is incredible.
I am not.
So she
She's
just like
painted 2
started. She's
miniatures.
just like,
She's
oh,
incredible.
what's this called? Oh, high score, I win. Like, I'm so good at painting.
Exactly. She's
I like,
amazing.
I like doing all that artsy stuff. I started doing like a paint by number that's like really intricate, and I was like loving that. And that was more just like relaxing. You don't have to like think too much because it's like number 11,
One is
open
blue.
number 11 paint, and paint it right here in this spot, But then this takes it to like the next level where you're painting a mini, which requires a lot of focus. But for me personally, like I wasn't ever that interested in painting minis. One, because I just thought the only minis you paint are like monsters, and I didn't really like have an interest in that. And 2, it just seemed really intimidating. Like I didn't know a thing about it. I didn't know any techniques. I didn't know anything. So when we started painting the Marvel United figures that have like a picture to go off of, to give you an idea of what to do, that really helped. And then Ryan kind of taught me what he learned from Ben, and it's been
so
Ben's
Ben's been
fun.
teaching me.
We've been having like date night paint nights.
Ben and Ken are
cute.
Amazing. They're so good. Their stuff that they've done
Yeah.
is amazing, and they're teaching me kind of how to do stuff. I'm watching YouTube videos, and Natalie, I mean, she says I taught her what I know. I don't know anything. I just basically like, here's one technique you can use, and then she just did the rest herself because she's incredible. But so we've been doing that a lot like crazy and having a freaking ball doing it. So that's happening on Wednesdays on the Gamecasters Twitch channel. If you guys want to do that, we start at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Cool. Anyway, so this game, Marvel United, is just kind of giving and giving and giving. Cameron loves it.
Yeah.
We play in the mornings, like before his school starts and stuff like that, and before I work. And it's just been bringing everybody kind of closer together. And so I've been wrong about games before, but not like this. And so what changed? What changed? You probably don't care about
what changed,
asking,
Ryan?
but I'm going to ask it in a way that makes it sound like you care, just so I can answer. Honestly, I think it was my expectations
Yeah.
I think I talked to you about this, Jeff, when
I demanded
when
an
you
apology.
demanded and belittled me for basically like, you said it was stupid. Now this again is my fault, but when I backed Marvel United a year or so ago, I didn't really look into. I do that a lot where I'll back a game based on, it's Marvel, it's cooperative, the figures are sweet, boom, I know I'm gonna like it. It's Come On, from Come On, which I hate saying that.
Yeah, I know.
It's from Simon, and all of their, cooperative games I enjoy. Like I enjoy this playing Zombie Side. I enjoy Cthulhu Death May Die. The Others was really fun. And so I expected a Marvel version of something like that, one of those systems, like a very adult, kind of experience. And when we played it, I did not get that.
Different from your other adult experiences.
Yeah.
Do you think Come On changed to Come On because Seaman sounds like semen?
Yeah, but Come On could be like, come on,
that's
my face.
true.
Oh, God.
They just need to change their name in
Come
general.
on, Simon.
I don't know why it's Kuhlman or not. It was fine. Nothing wrong with that.
Can we not call him that anymore?
I think
have they dropped Kuhlman or not completely, and are just now the letters Come On?
I think so. I think they want to go as Come On.
That's so
come on,
weird. It's
Mike.
like
Yeah,
a weird, awkward thing to say.
I hate it.
Yeah.
I don't like
we'll
it.
just call
I'm
it
just going to
Simon.
call him Simon because for some reason I just kind of like the way that sounds.
They don't
better.
listen anyway.
You thought that it was a kiddie game,
But so I expected it to be in a
and it
more
was like a
adult
kiddie
game,
type.
and it turned out to be simple, easy, and what I kind of said was boring. I was just like, this sucks. Like I did not think it was like this.
Yeah.
And I have all this stuff coming because I'm very invested into it. I spent a lot of money.
Oh no,
I went all in on
I
the
have
Kickstarter.
so many
I see all
things.
of
And I
it
was
in
like,
the
oh
box.
my God, like
ton.
this is the most simple game ever. We're never going to want to play this again. And so like then the expansion material showed up and I was kind of like, I have all this stuff. Let's just try it one more time, knowing what the game is with the kids. And that was everything, was changing my expectation of, okay, it's not Zombie Side. It's not Cthulhu Death May Die. It's its own thing. It's a new thing. And what it is fun.
Yeah.
It's really fun. I don't know what we did our first couple plays, but there are decisions to be made. It's like, it does get tense. We don't ever just like, oh, we won super easy.
Yeah.
It's usually comes down to like, it's challenging, and you can increase the difficulty
I wonder
level.
if the more, like maybe the base game itself is, all the characters and villains are too easy maybe. And then if the more options you have, like in the more combinations.
I don't think it's gonna ramp up like that. But it'll be different.
Well,
I don't think it's gonna get harder. Is that what you're saying?
We've played a ton of different expansions already.
We played Green Goblin, and you read that was one of the hardest villains, and it took us like
difficult.
4 tries to beat him, which was more fun than just easily beating somebody.
Yeah, you don't want to. It's like we always talk about. You don't want a cooperative game to be super
and for
simple.
me, I feel like that playmat is everything. That playmat is, because when we first played it, and I mean, we had set it up and it was fine, but like the storyline, placing the cards in the storyline when we just played like on our table without a designated spot for the cards. I found it so annoying. We're running out of space.
Yeah,
we're just putting them in a line. We're running out of space, so we're like shoving them together. And I was like, this is just so finicky and stupid. And the play mat is like a big circle, and the outside perimeter is like has spots for the storyline cards.
And it
it's
looks
like
so good.
It's crazy what a difference that makes in
Infinitely
playing
better.
the game. Yeah,
Which is funny because typically, outside components don't usually matter in terms of if I enjoy a game or not. Usually they can enhance.
If it's a good
what's
game,
already
then
good.
it doesn't matter. Yeah,
Like Castles of Burgundy is the one we always talk about. If that game had way better components like Vital Lacerda, it would make it more fun for me.
Yeah.
But without that, it's still amazing. And I'm not saying Marvel United isn't good without it, but using that playmat made it go from this is kind of annoying to like, wow, this is so much better.
Right, like you don't even have to think about that stuff now.
Yeah, and that's maybe that's why, because you don't have to think about it anymore.
Right.
So I apologize. I don't feel sorry, but Jeff's forcing me.
Oh my God.
I was wrong, is what I want to. I really want to say. I was wrong. Some people still might hate this game because it is very simple and light. But if you go into it expecting that, I think you'll have a better time with it. You know what I mean? It's not Cthulhu Death May Die. It is not, there's not a complicated rule set. It's a family game. It's a gateway game. It's a simple game. And there's a lot of fun in there. It shouldn't be this fun, but it's a great time. And now painting the miniatures is
now
going to make it even
Ryan's
more
obsessed
fun.
with it.
cool.
We played it so many times in like the last week.
Yeah, I haven't been
so.
this wrong about a game.
And
I can't
then
remember when.
now we have the minis, and we're like, you counted so far without the X-Men
85.
85
lot.
minis,
That's a lot.
but we've already painted like what?
6.
6?
6 down,
7
79 to go.
Yeah. And I'm not that's in like 4 days. We painted that many.
Boom.
Yeah, the rate at which we're painting is, I don't think we're going to keep it up. But
No,
the rate at
but-
which we're painting is
That's great.
is fast.
Yeah.
It's because it's just, we're having a lot of fun doing it, you know? Like I think Natalie mentioned, that's like our date night, paint night now. It's a new thing that we can do together.
Well,
and it's
especially
exciting because it's new.
After COVID, we were like, by the time we were like recovering from COVID, we were like, I do not want to watch TV like at all. Like, I don't care about anything on TV. Everything sucks. Like, nothing's entertaining me. So, like, that's one thing we're just not into watching TV at the moment because we were just like sat on the couch and did that for like 2 weeks straight. And then, Ryan's hose isn't totally unkinked yet with games.
Ayo.
And so now
I've been
this is like a
exploring why.
newfound hobby that we're excited about.
I have been feeling this year's been, there's no hiding the fact that this is probably the worst year of my entire life. I mean, I lost my dad at the very beginning of the year. Almost immediately after that, I got coronavirus. Almost immediately after that, I got some disappointing medical news. And now, it's just trying to pick up the pieces after that. So I
There was
think
some other
a
work
lot of
stuff that
my
was bad,
my
too.
game, work stuff's been bad. Everything bad that could happen has been happening. And so competitive games for me have been harder for my desire to be there. Because I'm sick of feeling bad, and I think the thought of like feeling frustrated by getting stymied in a way that bothers me is like very unappealing right now. And so Marvel United is cooperative, which takes that stress out of it. Mm-hmm. And painting is also something that takes that stress completely away. So I feel like the psychological part of this, if I dissect it, I think that's part of the reason why I'm struggling playing
Maybe
stuff
when you're like
lately.
in a better mental state later on, you'll be more into the games again.
Into the competitive nature of it, which right now I just don't want it. I don't want any competition at all. It's just weird. It's weird how it's gone. So anyway, that's Marvel United, and I was wrong. I'm a big enough man. What is that Office quote where he's like, "It takes a big man to admit his mistake, and I am that big man." So I am that big man, physically not, and I was wrong. So that's Marvel United. I think you. I wonder if Jeff would like the game.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's a
question mark.
I honestly don't think you would.
Okay.
Honestly, like it's not something you would take.
I think that you
I'll
would
try with you guys.
Like,
I think you would like it in that setting.
Right. I think you'd like to play with us, but I don't think you would buy it to play with like you and Devin.
Right.
That doesn't seem like that would go well with us.
It's not like the most Ameritrashy game, because I know you don't. You lean more towards Euro.
Yeah.
It's not like the most Ameritrashy kind of thing, but I still, for some reason, I just see you kind of just being like, all right,
Yeah,
it's
I do
okay.
too.
It's really good, but it's really good with the kids.
But I'm glad you guys like it with the kids. And
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
and we're having fun painting it, so there's that aspect of
Right.
it.
And we played it with just you and me. Because when we couldn't beat Green Goblin with the kids, they went
Get
to
these
bed and we're like,
stupid kids outta here.
let's play until we beat it.
Adults.
Yeah.
It's
And
just way
we
easier,
barely
too.
beat it.
It's definitely easier with two
Yeah.
players.
So let's take a break and honor our new our new sponsor, Simon Games and Spin Master.
Yeah, we wish.
Yeah.
All right, Jeff, what have you been playing, man?
I've been playing some games.
Have ya?
Yeah.
I'll bet.
So, recently, I have basically been like backlogging these games
I know.
because, in
We haven't been recording.
3 or 4 months, we've only recorded like 3
episodes.
episodes.
I know.
Which sucks, but we're
Hopefully
we're
back
back
on track.
Yeah.
I think we're back.
We
Yeah, I think
shouldn't be
so,
able
too.
to, we shouldn't get COVID again now that we had it.
Cross my fingers.
Yeah. So,
Hopefully, yeah.
or at least just be during the week.
Nothing else goes on.
If you get it, just hopefully it's Monday through Friday.
Yep,
and then we'll come over.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Totally.
On the weekends, we have the kids.
But yeah, so I've been backlogging some of these games, so I have a lot to talk about today, if the time.
If time permits, let's do it, man.
So I want to
Time
talk
permits.
about one of a huge hit. I believe Ryan can double check. I think it was 2018. This game came out. It's called Smartphone Inc.
Okay, yeah, I'll check it right now.
This was a big hit for Arcane Wonders.
2018, you're right.
And they recently, maybe 2019, came out with an expansion. It was It's called like the 1.1 update, which I thought was kind of cool. Like it went along with the theme
It says 2020, but yeah.
Okay, 2020. And it plays 1 to 5, and I think this game kind of, I don't want to say took people by surprise, but I see it everywhere. And
It definitely
it's still
did. I don't think people expected it to be as good as it was.
Yeah, and so it's an economic game, right? You're playing the economy. So in Smartphone Inc., you are CEOs of large smartphone companies, basically trying to earn the most money, which we would call points. Okay? Trying to earn the most poop meeples. Okay,
Right. Exactly.
If you have the most poop meeples by the end of 5 rounds,
then your thing is wrong.
you roll some dice and whatever. You shoot tampons out of guns.
Oh, I forgot to say that, by the way, at the end.
What?
When that person loses, whoever has the most poop meeples is the winner of the people who stayed in.
Yeah, because
Right. I forgot to say that.
makes sense.
Right.
Oh, so not everybody wins. Just the highest poop meeple.
That person loses
Is
and whoever has
eliminates
the
and
highest
ends the
poop
game.
meeples at the end.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay, that changes it. I think Ryan wins now.
Yep.
That was it.
I think he does.
So
Sorry, continue.
every round begins with players overlaying these 2 tablets to basically reveal icons that give different actions throughout the round. So think of 2 tablets. They each have a 2x4 grid on them with icons on them.
Yep.
That are the actions.
Sure, like the screen of a phone.
Yeah, like the screen. They're exactly screens of phones. And you have to like put one on top of the other. You can cover 1 space. You can cover up to 4 spaces. And you're positioning these tablets that's going to give you the power and give you the action throughout the rest of the round, if that makes sense.
Okay.
So if you show more price icons, your price will shift more. If you show more upgrade icons, you'll have more power to upgrade.
Okay.
So that's kind of what you're doing. You're moving those tablets around to give you the actions. And the actions are basically, like I said, price, production. You can research. Well, basically, research gives you better technology for your phones, right? You can have games on your phone, or you can have 5G, or you can have these different like things. And each time you unlock one of those research or one of those new technologies, it comes with like a power.
Okay.
You might be able to place something different, or like hang your tablet off the other side. Just kind of like different stuff that give you power throughout the game, which was awesome. And end of the round consists, so you do that, you take all these actions, and then the end of the round consists of you selling your phones to the different markets on the board that you have presence in. So the board is a map of the world. Okay.
Oh, yeah, I think I've seen it.
Yep, and one of the actions is to basically spread your presence. Okay.
Yeah.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah. And that's one of the actions that you have. So you have the action of, if I have 3 or 4 like trucks, right, that would allow me to spread my presence throughout more areas that I'm connected.
What do you do with the tampons?
You put them in the water and you float on them.
Oh, I see. So you can get across the pond.
Yeah, it's the ship boat. It's a ship boat action. And yeah, if you want to go from North America to Europe, you have to use the tampon boat
Okay,
to get
I
all the
see.
way across.
Yep.
Yes.
That's how you
Hopefully
get
it takes
across
less
the
than a
ocean.
week.
Yeah. and basically you're selling your phones to the areas that you have presence in. And each area has a list of customers that you are selling to. And each customer demands a certain thing, right? Sometimes it's like willingness to pay. So this customer is willing to only pay $4 for their phone. So then you look and you see if your phone is $4 or less, then you can sell to that customer. If it's not, you can't sell to that customer, and you move to the next one. So you kind of move down this line.
Okay.
Some customers require a certain technology. So this person wants games on their phone. So if you have the game unlocked, they're willing to pay anything.
Okay.
So even if your phone is $8, they'll buy it because it has games on it.
Sure.
Right? So you're going through and you're selling it, and everybody goes around and does that. So I would do that. And if Ryan and I we have the same presence, and his phone he could sell to 3 of those people, he then can go through and sell it to the other people that I didn't sell it to.
There's more involved in this than I
Yeah.
thought.
Yeah. It's,
Even looking at it, it looks like a game.
oh yeah,
No.
it's a game.
It's not as light as I maybe
Yeah.
had supposed.
No, it's not as heavy as some of your like really popular economic what's the barrage that I'm thinking
Yep.
of, right?
Oh,
But like
yeah.
it's not like that. So I think this is actually a really good like intro into some of these economic games, because you're trying to keep your price in a range that you want to sell, because if my price is too low, I might be able to sell it to a whole bunch of people, but I'm not making as much money as if I find, if I can make $8 a phone, but unlock these technologies. So there's that kind of that cool balance.
Yeah.
And yeah, after 5 rounds, you add up your current score. There's some tech patents. So if you're the first one to like unlock 4G, you get like this tech patent and you get points.
Oh, that's cool.
And then there's some common goals in the expansion, which are, I think, necessary. It kind of, again, makes it go from like medium to maybe medium heavy. There's something else to pay attention to, which I liked. And yeah, overall, like, so Devin and I played it with 2. I would say that the game does not shine with 2 people.
Oh, okay. You need
So the update pack, the 1.1 expansion, comes with a 2-player board, which is, I think, necessary to playing the game with 2. It just kind of shrinks the world down and kind of forces some competitiveness between 2 people.
Yeah.
Because if the board was as big as the regular board, you can kind of just be on opposite sides of the world and not pay attention to each other. So with a smaller board, there is some competition.
Forces the interaction.
And that's a 2 and a 3-player board. So I think that even 3-player on that smaller board is necessary as well. If you play with less people, you close off certain markets around the world, and then that just kind of changes some of the gameplay. But I think this game really probably shines with more. I would say like 4 and 5, I think the game would be awesome. My favorite part of the game was that action selection. I think that Ryan would love manipulating these tablets. I just think this is so one of the actions you can do is you can actually get more pieces of a tablet, essentially. Okay. And so not only am I now laying one tablet on top of the other, I now have 6 extra little 1x2 pieces that I'm now trying to position on top and overlay, and you have this kind of stack of things, puzzle. And then you look down on it, and those are all your actions.
Oh, that is sweet. Okay.
And that was so fun because, as I'm moving things around, I need my phone to go. I need the price to go down, but now I'm covering up my upgrade action. So that was just a fun puzzle. I love doing that. So everything I was doing during the game, I really loved. I just wish there were more people to make it a little more competitive in the markets.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Because I knew, looking at it on my turn, I knew, all right, well, I'm going to be able to sell it to all 3 of these customers, or all 6 of these customers. Devin won't be able to get any or whatever. So I think with more people, that totally changes. And I like that major competitiveness. And also, going first can be really, really important because you're the first person selling to the customers. So even if I go first and I can sell my phone to the person that wants a $3 phone, even if your phone is $3, you can't sell it to that person because that person already bought one phone, right? They don't need more phones.
Makes sense. So the thematic integration seems big.
I think it's awesome. I think it felt like I was selling phones to people, right? It felt like I wanted these upgrades.
What a weird theme.
It is weird.
It's cool though. I like unique, weird themes.
Yeah, it was different because it wasn't. Could the game be the same with selling random things? Sure, but they took it and said, all right, we're going to make technology. We're going to make it phone based, and I thought it kind of fit well. I liked thinking about all right, I have the game. I want to make a gaming phone because not only am I selling it to 3 customers out on the map, but also it gives me a cool power.
Yeah.
And I unlock that before Devin unlocked that, so I get to do something special and Devin doesn't, and she might unlock it differently. So we had different powers kind of throughout the game because of our tech that we unlocked.
Did she like it?
She said that she has very similar thoughts that I had. She's like, I would play it again. She loved doing the tablet thing. She thought it was just cool how it all looked and worked, but just we wanted another person to have a little more competition, which I totally get. So it's staying around, and I'll play it maybe at game night or at Nerdfest or something like that. And it just seemed to flow. Things made sense. You set the price, you move your presence around the board, you upgrade your phones. The flow made sense. It was also very clear on the board. I didn't feel like I had to look at the rule book to go, all right, what's this step again? What's this icon mean? It's just everything kind of made sense. The price was a big $sign. The shipping was a big ship. It was okay, well, that's easy.
Yeah.
Easy
well, that's
to do.
good. If you have stuff like that gets you out of the rule set, then it gets you into the immersion.
Yeah, exactly. So I would get the expansion, the 1.1 update, if you're playing with 3 or less, because I think it also adds the solo mode. And the common objectives is a great thing to add to the game.
That sounds cool.
I loved the abilities that you unlocked. I think it was just the game itself. I loved everything I was doing, just not with 2.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm really excited to play with more than 2.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Because I really think you guys would love that action selection. I think it's just a cool game.
It sounds cool.
Yeah.
It was like a mini game inside of itself, and it
kind of reminds me of
cool.
Wendake in a way.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
I just punched and opened.
You don't lay things on top, but you're moving things around, and then the actions you get are in a 3x3 grid. Yeah. That's the coolest part of that game.
It's very cool. So that was Smartphone Inc.
Smartphone Inc. You said Arcane Wonders?
Yeah.
Awesome. Sounds good. So many years ago, a game came out and immediately went out of print. Now, there are a few reasons that games go out of print, but the most notable is that there isn't enough market demand for a reprint, and so the publisher, if they don't think they can make the money back on it, it doesn't get printed, right? I'm not 100% sure what the reasons were for this next game languishing in the depths of oopness, which is out of printness, for near a decade. But as the years went by, the cult-like following increased. Every person lucky enough to have a copy praised and lauded its gameplay, people calling it their favorite tile layer of all time. You couldn't find a copy in the secondhand market for less than $125. It seemed as if people loved the game. Why, then, was it out of print for so long? Well, finally, for whatever reason, Pearl Games brought back the mighty tile-laying game of Ginkgopolis. If I ever had a Grail game, this was it. Do you guys know what a Grail game is?
Is it really? This would be
I think this was
like for years.
Holy
Yeah, for
Grail?
years.
Not just recently. Okay.
Yeah, for a long. I don't know how vocal I was about it, but I've always been looking for a copy.
Okay.
Of this. So a Grail game
Something
is
you've
like,
been like searching for.
yeah, a
Yes.
game you're searching for that's like you can't find, no one has it, and
like
Not to
on
be
a
confused with the
pedestal.
publisher Grail Games.
yeah, right, not Grail
Yeah.
Games, which they may have called themselves that after this term.
I bet.
because this has been a thing for a while. So I jumped on it when it finally came back in print. Faster than Natalie depleting a 10-piece breadstick platter from Papa Romano's, got the game to the table, and away we went for a 2-player game. Ginkgopolis is a really interesting game. Basically, you have a hand of cards, and each turn you simultaneously decide which action to take. You choose one card. You can play a card to get some resources, or you can play a card to add a tile to the main board. And the board is not a board. It's like Carcassonne or something where the board is made up of the tiles that you are building. It starts with a 3x3 thing, but then you keep it. Okay. If you add a tile to the board, you can do so in one of two ways. You can either make the board area larger, or you can just build upwards. Okay. If you make the board area larger, you also get bonuses for tiles that are adjacent to the tile you just played. Okay. If you build up, you get to keep the card that you played to play it in your tableau, making you stronger for future turns, which is really cool. Regardless of which way you place your tile, you also put some number of your player's markers on it. And at the end of the game, there's like an area majority scoring based on how many markers you have. The tiles come in one of 3 colors. There's red, yellow, and blue. Those colors are also attached to things like red is resources, yellow is victory points, and blue is tiles. At the end of the game, the tiles will form little groups of colors, and whichever player has the most of their color marker on each grouping gets points. Okay? Mm-hmm. The game's really clever and really cool. You have 4 cards in your hand, and you play one. Like I said, on your turn. And then after your turn ends, you pass the rest of the cards you didn't play to your neighbor. And this is where a lot of the agony can happen. You might have 4 really good cards in your hand, but you can't play them all. Right? And then you have to give them to your neighbor. And in a 2-player game, that's your only opponent. So you're basically forced to hand your only opponent these amazing cards. And if they have crappy cards, they're giving you the crappy cards, and you have the, it's also really fun building up your tableau of cards in front of you. Remember, that happens when you take the action to build upwards. So basically, no matter what action you take on your turn, if you have cards in your tableau that match that action that you just took, you get to activate those cards, which gives you more stuff. So you know how, like I said, activating tiles gives you stuff? That part of the game is sweet too. So I take this action to increase the size of the board, which gives me a resource, or which gives me, resources based on adjacent tiles to that one I just played. So I get a resource because the tile I just placed is adjacent to a red tile. I get a victory point because it's also adjacent to a yellow tile. Then I have 3 cards in front of me on my tableau that activate whenever I take that action. So I also get 2 tiles and another victory point. So the potential for amazing turns is ever present, and it's really cool. Because you can have a turn where you just like, oh, this is going to be sweet. I play this card, I play this tile that activates these 5 cards, that gives me these stuff, then I can use that to do this.
That's like your favorite thing.
I love that so much. So what I like, I love those aspects about it. The card draft was really fun. The tableau building was probably my favorite. As Jeff said, I love when things chain together and give you these opportunities for really awesome turns. The tile laying and the area control was pretty cool, and the timing of the game was great. In a 2-player game, it only took us about an hour to play. So what didn't I like? I think this is only a 2-player issue, and it's kind of similar to maybe what Jeff said about Smartphone Inc. But the fact that your only opponent is the other player can make for some really frustrating moments. The cards can come out in such a way that can really mess you over. You have 2 opportunities to ditch your hand and draw new cards throughout the game, but if you don't get the color cards you need or the exact numbers that match the tiles on the board, and your opponent does, it can feel very swingy or lucky. Also, the area majority in a 2-player game feels kind of mean. where I don't think it would feel that way in a 3 or 4 player game, because you're not literally just competing with the person across from you. But in one play with Natalie, for instance, 4 turns in a row, she got the exact cards she needed to play the turns she wanted, which I'm sure felt amazing to her. But I'm stuck with just a couple resources and then watching as Natalie is systematically destroying my area majorities in 2 of the 3 strongholds, and there's nothing I can do about it. I just have to watch it happen.
Yeah, you were trying to end the game so that I could not continue doing that, but you couldn't get the stuff you needed to end the game.
Stuff she needed,
and then I ended up doing everything and then ending it, and he was like, "What the hell?"
It felt really bad and frustrating, and I don't like that feeling. That I don't mind. Like playing against somebody and then like they have a good turn and then that kind of hurts you. I don't mind that, but I don't like when there's no rebut. There's no opportunity for rebut. Like I couldn't do anything about it. For like 3 turns in a row, you had all the stuff you needed and I just didn't.
Right.
And I couldn't do it. And it was like, and I just had to watch because I was winning probably at that point. Pretty, maybe not
at least the area
handily, but I was,
part.
the area majority at least I probably had it. And I just watched in 3 turns, you just dismantle it and increase it for you, which again, probably felt cool for you.
Yeah.
But for the other person, it sucks. Now, if there's 3 or 4 people, it's not just one person doing that to you. So I can see it being a little bit more interesting or fun or not feeling so mean.
Also, 3 or 4 people, we got in each other's way a lot. And
it would be
amplified.
So tense. Although it would also be bigger, right? Because there'd be more people playing
Yeah,
tiles.
that's true. Adding more tiles and stuff. You're right.
So overall, I really enjoyed the game. I think it will shine personally for me with more than 2. I don't want to say I'm let down with this Grail game that I've been after for like the last 8 or 9 years. But I think I was expecting to fall in love with it. And I just think it's a good game.
Yeah.
Personally. Natalie, what do you think?
I think it's a really good game. I wouldn't say I fell in love with it, but I liked it a lot. At the beginning, I was a little bit confused because, as you heard from the explanation, it was hard for me to remember, okay, so I did this. So what happens next? What do I get from doing this, placing this tile here? What do I get? And that stuff kind of confused me at first. But once I got that down and the game started to ramp up, it all kind of clicked. I thought that the decisions that you had to make were really interesting. It was cool because I like in games where, okay, this is what I have to work with. What's the best thing for me? And that game is kind of like this because you have these tiles with numbers on them and you can only place them on, really specific areas based on the cards you have, right? And so those are your only options. Which one should I choose? And then on top of that, you have to decide well, this would be better for me if I built up over here, but I can't do that until I get this other thing. So that means I have to build out to get what I need to build up, and I found that planning it out and making those decisions was really interesting and fun. And then obviously area control is not my favorite mechanism.
But it felt really good kicking the hell out of me.
Yeah, that felt saying? Good, but that wasn't my favorite part of the game, And honestly, obviously that was in the back of my mind as I'm playing. I'm constantly watching, what I have control over or not control over, but that didn't really become a big important part for me until the very end when I'm oh crap, the game's gonna end soon and I gotta get some more majorities in these regions and stuff like that.
Oh, I got the exact cards I needed.
Let me mention something. We were talking about this game. We're gonna, when we talk about Hallertau, probably next episode, this conversation need to come back up. So I'm not gonna say where it came from, but Natalie did mention, we played. Was that the game that I didn't understand at the beginning, but then I kicked your butt? Yeah. That was the whole comment. Yeah. I didn't really know what I was doing at the beginning, but I kicked your butt.
Yeah.
Okay.
Exactly. I would like to note, I don't think I ever hold wins over you in the way that you do.
No, I didn't hold it over you. Well, I've never said anything about it except when I couldn't remember the game, and then I was like, oh yeah, it was that one.
Oh, the one I kicked your butt.
Yeah, right.
But I only remember that I kicked your butt because you were you were frustrated with it.
Thanks for reminding me of that
But
gracious memory.
I don't even normally remember if I win or not, which also makes you mad. So you just get mad at everything that I feel.
So all you need to do is remember
It's my fault.
if you've won, what the game is, and be nice about it.
Yeah, right.
Those are
about
three
it.
keys to success.
Okay, that one comment.
that simple, wind
I was
guster.
joking, but
Ooh.
I know. We were riding our bikes the other day, and he
She
was
just
like,
scooted way ahead of me all of a sudden. But that's not fair.
he was like, I know what your superhero name would be, and it was like, whatever.
It was whatever.
No, that's not even close
Wind
to how,
guster,
that
and
is
I
not
was
even
like,
close
don't you dare.
to how the conversation went. We were riding our bikes, and I was wearing a windbreaker.
Oh, that's right.
And I was like, your name should have been Windbreaker, not
Yeah.
Windguster. It's way better.
That's right.
So here, let me ask you a question. Is this a game you're going to keep?
Yes.
Okay,
I was
are you
gonna say, I
keeping
hope
it?
you keep it.
Yes, we're keeping
Okay, are you keeping it more than just it being a Grail game? Like, 'cause
Yeah.
I have games in my collection that I'm keeping because it has some value of to me. I'll probably never play it, but I just want it.
Yeah.
Right? Or
There's-
it's because it's out of print or because it's something.
Good question. There's games where I play them and I'm like, no, I thoroughly enjoyed the
process.
mechanisms
Yeah.
of the game. I hated what happened at the very end. But I think that
When Natalie kicked your butt.
yeah, when Natalie kicked my butt. Yeah, getting that frustration soured me. But I was
But you realize that's not going to happen every time.
what I realized, not that necessarily, was I think that would not be as apparent with more people.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
I don't think I necessarily want to play this again 2-player.
Okay.
I think I'd want to play it with more.
Right.
But I liked the game, the core mechanisms and theme, and just the way the flow felt of the game
Yeah.
enough that I want to.
It was
wanna
a cool.
play.
I can
it
be
was
the
a cool
third player.
game.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we should play.
I can help.
do it.
And
Yeah.
I helped.
Yeah. Let's and I helped. Yeah, exactly. So that was Ginkgopolis. Pearl Games just re-released that. Again, I don't know why it was out of print for so long. This was like a cult thing where people were like, everybody loves Ginkgopolis. You see it
Yeah.
somewhere and
Mm-hmm.
people just give it praise. And so
I always kind of wonder the ins and outs of why certain games are getting
sometimes
printed all
it's
the time.
like
or don't-
licensing
yeah.
issues. Like this publisher has the license for it and they don't have the money to put it
Maybe
out.
with Asmodee buying everybody, that could be a problem too.
It's like some things are. I don't know what happened. I do remember that. I don't know who published it originally, but I did read something that said that they originally years ago were like, no, that'll never be reprinted, and so people were like, damn, you're only gonna be able to
Yeah.
get it to the second hand market. And then all of a sudden, I don't know if licenses expired or something happened, and Pearl Games got it, and then and now here we are, and
You
we
think a
have
bunch
it.
of people snatched it up?
And we have it again. Snatch his ass in a bear trap, yo. Yeah. It was like $125 in the second market. Now you can get it for it's like $30.
There you go.
$40.
Yeah,
So-
because I saw right when we got it in the mail, I saw fat guy eating burritos post that he played it, and I was like, oh, that's funny. He must have just got it.
Yeah,
too.
because it just came out again.
Yeah.
So that's Ginkgopolis. What you got, Jeff?
I got another game.
Oh, yeah.
It's been a minute since I talked about a Stonemeyer game,
It sure has.
so let's go back to it.
All right.
You guys know the game Between Two Cities?
I know
Natalie?
it.
You played that
Yep,
game?
I have multiple
Okay.
times.
Mm-hmm.
So there is a re-implementation. It's not brand new. It's been out for a few years, but this game is called Between Two Castles of Mad King Ludwig.
Oh, I thought you were going to ask us if we've played Castles of Mad King
I
Ludwig
have
before.
played
Oh, have you
that
played Castles of Mad King
a long
Ludwig?
Yes,
time
we have.
ago.
So this is a smush between Castles of Mad King Ludwig
Smush.
and Between Two Cities. So now this is Between Two Castles of Mad King Ludwig.
Interesting. Why? But interesting.
So I don't know. There's a I know
question.
there's a combo. So on the box it says Stonemeyer with Bezier Games. So I don't know if they're, again, I don't know, maybe it's a license thing or they've come together because Bezier made the Castles of Mad King Ludwig.
Yep.
That's one of their big games, and I don't know if Stonemeyer bought it or they just worked together.
yeah,
or
one of them was
right?
I love that game. What if we do my theme onto your
Yeah,
game?
so it's pretty cool, and I liked Between Two Cities. I had Between Two Cities for a long time. I got the expansion, and if you remember on episode something or another,
Yep.
I traded that
My favorite episode.
for Teotihuacan. So I traded that
Yeah.
for
Oh, okay.
Teotihuacan and got that. And remember, it was a huge mess and everything
Yeah,
was in the
right.
box.
I
But
remember.
so I was really excited to get Between Two Castles because I did like Between Two Cities. It was fun.
Yeah,
It's
I liked
easy
it
to play
too.
with 7 or 8 people.
Yeah, it's a good big group.
Quick.
game.
Yes. So this is Between Two Castles of Mad King Ludwig. It is played exactly like Between Two Cities. The
Okay.
play, the mechanisms are
So
the
the
same,
smush
right?
is really only in theme.
In theme, but how you're playing is a little I'll get there.
Okay.
So if you've never played Between Two Cities or Between Two Castles, it's a tile drafting game where you kind of start with a stack of pieces, these rooms that will go into your castle, and you draft 2 of them because you're working with the player on the left and the right to make 2 castles.
So instead of like a landscape or whatever city, it's a room.
It's a room in the castle, and you are actually making. If you cut the castle, you're making the side view of the castle.
Oh, cool!
If that makes sense. So you can make basement tiles and upper floor tiles. So instead of it being an overview like between 2 cities, this is a slice the building in half.
A cross section.
Yeah, cross section of it. So that's where the name Between Two Castles comes from. You're sitting in between 2 castles. So you are making 2. So I take my stack of 9, I pick 2 tiles, one for the person on the left, one for the person on the right, and then you sit with the person near you and you talk about where that tile should go in each castle. So I might turn to Ryan and say, okay, I think this should go here, and then I'll turn to Natalie and we place both of our tiles. So each round then you're adding 2 tiles, one from you and one from the person on your left or right. And then you take the rest of the tiles that are left and you pass it to the person on the left and you do the same thing, which is kind of a cool dynamic because I'm passing tiles knowing that Ryan might take one to put to my city, right?
Yeah.
So then the next round you pass to the right, so then I'm passing, you're passing it to the person and you kind of like, you can kind of wink at each other and be like, oh, we need another bedroom. That would be cool. Yeah. So that's kind of a cool dynamic. So you basically just do that like twice around. So you have the stack of 9 and you do this twice around. And what's different about it is in between 2 cities, you had to stick to like a 4x4 grid. This doesn't have any like restrictions. You can go as up as you want, as left as you want, right, down.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Certain buildings have placement requirements.
That's actually kind of thematic because of these crazy castles.
The crazy castles. Yep. It can be as weird looking as you want. And each of them do have like placement restrictions, right? You can only put basement tiles below your throne room, which is where you kind of start. So it gives you 1 tile to start with. And certain rooms can only be above other rooms for scoring, right? So each, not only do they have placement restrictions, but they also have like score differently, just in between 2 cities where groups of forests would score differently. These score kind of the same way. There's also this cool addition that they had was as soon as you place 3 or 5 of the same color. So if I place 3 oranges, if Ryan and I replace 3 oranges, that triggers like a bonus that's special to the orange buildings. So maybe it's adding another tile or getting a different scorecard, something like that. And then if you do 5, you get another kind of bonus. And at the end of the game, after you've completed your castles, you score both of them, and your score is the lowest of the 2.
Yep. Okay.
Yeah,
so if I have a castle, if mine and Natalie's castle is 56 and Ryan and mine is 50, my score is 50.
Which is cool because you cannot neglect a castle.
Exactly. I can't just be like, well, fuck Natalie.
Yep,
I'm going to build a 200-point castle over here and give you all the garbage, right? You have to.
Yep.
Yeah.
And that's what's fun is when you have 2 tiles in your hand and you're like, all right, this would go really well here. But maybe this
one's
tile
already doing what,
this one's doing. This one needs to get more points, and that's kind of I like that fun decision making.
Yeah.
I think it's a little more thinky than Between Two Cities because of the space that you can go. You can go far out left and right. You can go up and down.
I could see how that could hurt you even. Like
Yeah.
You're like, oh, I can do whatever I want, but now I'm pigeonholing myself into this corner.
Yeah. There's also, even though the orange buildings all score the same, there's like slightly different requirements. So, for example, or the bedrooms or whatever. So let's say the bedrooms need adjacency. So the bedrooms score points if they're adjacent to a yellow room, right? But all the bedrooms score differently on the adjacency. So one bedroom might be yellow rooms, one bedroom might be the basement rooms, one bedroom might be, but it's all adjacency surrounded, right?
Yeah.
So that's kind of cool because it makes my decisions a little harder. So not only do I need a bedroom in this house, but I also need maybe one that scores against the blue buildings, you know?
Yeah.
So that's kind of neat.
Are the decisions the only thing made harder?
Ooh, depends.
What about?
Depends on the
never
dice
mind.
roll and if you're at a volleyball tournament.
What were you going to say?
Yeah, what were you going to say?
What about your penis? That
What
was
you
the
gonna
whole...
say? Ryan was trying to go under the radar.
I know, I was
you
trying
were just
to like
penis
subtly...
joke, penis.
What about a penis?
What about a penis?
He
Penises
doesn't
can be
like-
hard.
He doesn't like when I say penis.
gross.
He's like, stop saying that word.
Well, I don't like when you say it in
Like,
a context of, we're trying to be romanticizized.
let me see your penis.
Yeah, you're like, you want me to touch your penis? No!
I wouldn't say that.
Gross. Ugh.
Gross. Don't touch my
Gross.
penis.
No.
Yuck.
Ugh.
Cooties.
Ew.
What is this game called? Between Two Castles.
Oh, mad
That's all I got.
king.
I love that it plays up to 7. I think that's great. And also at about the same
that's
time
cool.
it plays at 3, right?
Ooh.
And that's something that we've talked about. It's easy to get to the table. Sometimes games with 7, if you're going to play Caverna with 7 people,
No.
that's a stupid
Right.
decision.
Dumb idea.
But it's cool that it's not like a party game. It's like an actual game that
Yes.
can also accommodate 7 people.
Exactly. It is a game that you can play, I think, with a wide range of people. still get what you want out of it, and it can
Yeah.
play up to 7. Because if you have 7 or 8 of the game night, you're usually splitting up, and is that what you want?
Right.
And this game could really begin or end like a game night if you were planning on splitting up. That could be a game that could bring you together to play, and you're interacting. The game is so highly interactive. It's not like you're doing something all by yourself around the table, right? Ryan, you have a question?
Is there a reason to have both of them?
No. I really don't think there's a
Would
reason to have both of
you
them.
recommend one over the other?
I would recommend castles over cities. But if you have cities, don't go buy castles.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, I think if you have one,
Like, they're
keep
that
it. They're both
similar.
fun. They play the same. If you don't have any of them and are looking at one of them, I would get castles over cities.
Gotcha. I think we got rid of Between Two Cities.
Oh, yeah.
too.
We did.
Yeah.
We liked it a lot. We played it
Yeah,
a lot.
we played
got
it
a
a
lot of
bunch.
mileage
There's
out of
also
Yeah.
so here's something that I'll say about Between Two Castles that it's like a little thing that I like. It comes with game trays and it stores all the tiles. And what's
that's
nice
nice.
is you take it out and
Two
literally
Cities was just
they're in the stacks.
free-for-all.
They're in the stacks that everyone takes. So Ryan, you need to start with 9 tiles. You just grab a stack out of the thing, and those are your 9
that's
tiles.
cool.
So at the end, you got to shuffle them back up and put them in. But the setup and the
They've
teardown
learned.
is so simple because Between Two Cities was a skinny box, and you had to jam all that stuff in there. And then with the expansion, things didn't fit, or you had to 3D print something and blah blah blah. This just it's so much easier to get to the table, clean up, and put it away. Like you could put it on the table
That's a big deal.
in an hour. It could be taught, played, put away in an hour.
That's a big deal.
Yeah. So, Between Two Castles of Mad King Ludwig.
Very cool. Awesome. Our next game is we don't have one. Jeff, what do you got next?
Oh yeah, let's talk about a game called. I want to talk about. Let me ask you a question. Do you guys know what a whatnot cabinet is? If
Never heard of
I
it.
just
I get into
take
it.
a guess.
I get into it.
Yeah, take a
I
guess. of
thought
what
it was something
whatnot
like a
cabinet
junk
is.
drawer. Like
Okay.
you just put random
That's
crap that has nowhere
exactly
to
what I
go.
thought.
That was
Like,
that'd be my guess.
here's
too,
your
just-
whatnots.
Yeah, right. My whatnots,
Yeah.
my bric-a-brac, my nicka-nacka.
Yeah, I like the term whatnot.
Nicka-nacka?
Though I never used that term before, but I kind of like that. It's because I would
whatnot
say
cabinet.
like I've heard knickknacks before.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or
Patty
or
wax.
like your patty wax.
You've heard bones,
you know?
dogs.
Yep, give those dogs a
Give them.
bone.
Penis.
Natalie.
Knick-knack,
That's a
paddywhack,
penis.
give a dog a penis.
Give them a hard
Ugh.
penis.
Oh, a hard penis.
Hard. Ugh, God.
Ew, not a hard penis.
A hard penis is the most disgusting.
Well, penis?
Ugh.
And a boner. There's like the.
What are they?
Keep going.
Hey,
You just
the
say
rest of that
penis, but you mean boner. You could think like it's
Wait,
not.
when you say penis, but you mean boner?
Let me talk about a game. All right, the whatnot.
Penis.
So the whatnot cabinet has now steered itself into the world of penis and boners.
When you say penis, but you mean
We can
boner.
relate everything back
Pencil
to
first games. I apologize.
pencil penis.
That's funny.
So a whatnot cabinet apparently is kind of like what I think I would refer to as like a curio cabinet. Have you heard of that?
Yeah,
So
I-
it does holds your knickknack.
It holds knickknacks.
Knick-a-knack-a, bric-a-brac.
Knick-a-knack-a, bric-a-brac, okay? It holds your whatnots.
Yeah.
Okay? You got a whatnot, you put it in the whatnot
put it in the
cabinet.
whatnot
Yeah.
And I'm not sure if that's like a regional thing.
Yeah,
you know,
I've
like
never really
Firefly,
heard of
Lightning Bug,
whatnot
Pop Soda,
called,
whatnots, knick-knack,
or
bric-bracs.
Penis boner.
Penis boner, whatever, you know. So this is the newest game from Pencil First Games, who sent this to me to talk about.
Pencil
And oh man, they're not gonna send me any more games. Pencil First, it was wonderful working with you. Thank you for this. Yeah.
Okay.
Pencil First has made a couple games. I should have wrote them down. I think Herbaceous, like some of the
yeah.
flower.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
that's the game.
first of all, they surround
the game.
themselves with like incredible art. So this game is not unlike the other ones where the art is grasp. You just want to look at this game,
Oh yeah.
right? You want to look
I
at.
totally just blanked on what this game was because all we were talking about was
whatnot
penises.
cabinet. Natalie can't get penises out of her
Whatnot.
brain.
Yep.
I have to apologize. I think I'd send this to someone named
Skull
Jessica.
Hollow?
So Jessica, I apologize.
So they did Skull Hollow too.
Anyways,
So anyway, a whatnot cabinet. So in whatnot cabinet, what you're doing is shockingly collecting small precious objects to add to your cabinet. Their whatnot cabinet. You know, you got to add it to the what. You take the whatnots and you add it to the whatnot
Add to the
cabinet.
whatnot cabinet.
Okay.
Knick-a-knack and bric-a-brac.
So you begin the game. This is a very light filler. So this is not a heavy game. Light filler.
Okay.
You begin with a 3x4 grid, which holds your knickknackas. Okay. You also get a secret objective if you have their mini expansion, which you should get because it's easy to add. Each round you choose an action that will essentially allow you to add the objects into your cabinet. So each action you select gets you 2 objects.
Okay.
Each action is kind of different. And each object is one of 5 different types. So there's like glass objects or nature or an animal statue or something like that. And then there's also
Seashells.
yeah, seashells, that's one. There's also 5 different colors. So you might have a purple shell or a yellow animal statue like that. Okay, cool. Common objective cards players are competing for. You buy the first one to fill up a row, the first one to fill up a column, first one to have one of each color, blah, 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 stuff like that, right? And what's very cool is once you finish a row in this game, you earn points for having either all of the same or all different types of objects in that row.
Oh, I like that.
And then when you finish a column, you get points for having all the same color or all different colors.
And a row is just 3?
The row is 3 and the column is 4.
Okay.
Yeah, so you'll get more points for finishing a column with different than you would with a row. But that's kind of neat. So once you actually do that, so on your turn, if you finish a column, you immediately pause and score the column, and you put a little token right above it. That basically indicates that's what that column has scored. So then you're not worrying about going back and trying to score everything.
Cool.
And you basically play that until you just do that over and over again until you fill up your cabinet. Everybody fills up their cabinet, and you total up the points that you got from the rows and columns from your secret objective. If you got any of the public ones, you get points for that. And it's a solid filler game.
That's cool.
I would put it. I wouldn't say filler plus. I would say it's like a filler game.
Filler. Straight up
like
filler.
straight
It took
up
Devin and I-
It was like 1.86.
Yeah, it took Dev and I 20 minutes to play it.
Yeah.
Wow.
It went really smooth. It was one of those nights where I think the night before we played something, and then the following day I was like, "Hey, you got 20 minutes? Can we just play this game really quick?" And we did. And it was just So my favorite part was the action selection, which I think is cool, and which goes back to. So that was my favorite thing about Smartphone Inc. My favorite thing about this one too. So each action eventually gets you 2 tiles, right? But all in different ways, which is kind of cool. So if I move my pawn and I want to take this action, I might draw 2 random tiles off the top, keep one, and then take one from the display. Or if I put it on the different action selection spot, I might take 3 randoms off the top and take 2 of those.
Okay.
Or I might reset the board and then take 2, right? So there's some mix and mash between taking random ones off the top or taking them from the public display. And I just kind of thought that was like neat. There was no resetting the board after everyone's turn. So Ryan would take his turn, and whatever you did to the display was now Natalie can now take her action.
Oh.
So it was never like,
we take
the
the same
row
action?
ran out. No. So it's not like, the public one ran out, now I have to like reset it. It was never like each action sort of reset the board for the next person, which I thought was kind of cool.
Okay.
And then, only one person can take the specific kind of action, and then that determines your turn order for the next round.
And you have to take a different action on your next turn, I'm guessing?
No, but what happened, I think the more random actions get to go earlier the next round. So I think the draw 3, pick 2 is like the first action, but that person gets to go next. The last one is, I think, reset the board and then draw 2 of the new ones, right? So that's more known.
That would be the last one,
and then you would end up being last the next round. So you can keep going to the first one over and over again, but I think just taking random ones wouldn't.
Yeah,
it's
it
not going to win
really
the game.
Unless you just completely luck into things.
Right. I thought that was pretty cool where I want one on the board so I can take a less random action, or I don't want any of that, and there was a way to kind of sweep the leg and refill.
Sweep the leg.
It was overall like a well-produced, solid like filler.
Nice.
I'm not going to reach for it all the time. It came to game night back and forth a few times because to play in 20 minutes
that seems great.
is awesome. The art, like I said earlier, is on a point.
Ooh.
Beth Sobel does the art for this, who also does Wingspan and Viticulture and Arboretum and so many beautiful things.
Good.
And the other person is Kim Robinson, who I want to give a shout out. I think she must work for Pencil First Games.
Kim Robinson.
When I clicked on her BGG profile, it seems like her games she's worked on, which are also beautiful, are all kind of Pencil First games. So I don't know if she's maybe their artist.
Yeah, they're in-house artists.
Could be. If I'm wrong, Kim, you're not listening.
Floriferous.
I think
Heroes Welcome.
that's
and
another
Herbaceous,
Pencil
the
First
Flavor Pack Mini. Yeah, it looks like these are all.
Yeah,
Pencil
so
Firsts.
both of them, whoever did what, it looks awesome. So I would look into that. It's coming out soon, or I think the availability is like now. Like you'd be able to find it in some places.
Yeah.
So that was the Whatnot cabinet.
There is also a Watch It Played available.
Ooh. Okay.
For the Whatnot cabinet.
So that means that.
Yeah, it was a Kickstarter game, right?
Okay.
Yeah, I believe it was a Kickstarter.
So that would mean that Rodney likes it.
Yeah,
Rodney
exactly.
usually he doesn't
He only
pick
does the
games he doesn't
I
like.
That seems pretty fun.
Yeah.
That seems pretty fun.
Yeah, check it out.
Sweet. All right. The next game that Natalie and I have played is one that we haven't played because we haven't played it. So, Jeff, you want to know any other game?
Yeah, you guys played a game.
Oh, we played
the next
a game.
Next game we're going to talk about. We just played. We just played minutes ago. We are going to talk about a game called Block Ness. Kind of like Loch Ness. But with a block ness.
Block Ness.
And there's no blocks in
Ness
it.
monster.
There's no blocks.
there's no
physical
blocks.
You're blocking each other.
Natalie, let him get through it.
Oh, man.
You were going to say
Spoilers.
Well, our next game.
Then you can call me out.
So this is the newest family game from one of my favorite companies.
Blarnge?
Blue Orange Games. And Blue Orange Games is just a cool company.
Yeah.
You might not like every game that they publish, but they make great family games.
Yeah.
They're always kind of nice, friendly.
I
the
like
art
them.
is always kind of cool. It's
I
just
like the art.
it's just a nice company. So that's Blanche.
I like their booth.
Yes.
Yeah, they always got a cool booth.
Yep. At Gen
big.
Con or
Yep.
Yeah.
no, took random. It was just random booth. So they have a lot of good like family stuff coming out this summer. I also put out a survey on Instagram, so this will suffice as the Instagram inbox this week.
Nice.
I asked if the Loch Ness monster was real. What do you think
Right.
the percentage of people were that said it's real versus not?
I would hope the percentage that said it was real was lower than the percentage that said it wasn't.
That's what I think
I would
too.
hope.
You are wrong.
Oh,
People
boy.
believe in it?
People think Nessie is real.
2/3 of
huh?
people believe that the Loch Ness monster is real, including the Gamecasters account, by the way.
What? That wasn't. Oh yeah, maybe I did it.
The Gamecasters account voted yes.
No,
the Loch Ness
it's-
monster
no.
is real.
was
Also,
probably
Emily
trying to-
Date Nice Dice believes they're real, and she also wants to know whoever said no. She needs to know who they are because
Me.
she needs to have a.
Well, I guess I said yes.
So, like,
Conversation.
do they
I guess
think-
I said
do
yes.
they think
but-
there's just one Loch Ness monster, or do they think it's like a species?
I don't know.
That-
Evan from Being Friends said it's just a really big fish. That's what Evan said.
I think it's I think it's just a doctored photo. That's what I think.
Well,
That's the literal only piece of evidence there is, right?
Kind of like
Or is
let me
there
tell
more?
you what
It's kind
is
of like
real.
Sasquatch,
Maybe there's
where like
more.
nobody has actually like.
Yeah, but do
seen
people
it up
actually
close.
believe in Sasquatch?
Yeah,
don't know.
That we know?
People do.
Do you guys believe in Sasquatch?
I don't know.
well, no,
I
but
don't think so.
that show you
I don't
watch.
think you do. Yeah,
Maybe.
there's a documentary called Sasquatch.
Oh, is that good? It's on Hulu.
I watched the first. Yeah, it's on Hulu. I watched most of the first episode. Yeah, it was interesting.
All right.
It was interesting. I'll say that. These
Maybe I'll
people
watch it.
definitely believe that a Sasquatch murdered these people. You know, you get the
Yeah.
you know, like, and it seems plausible, I suppose, but no,
Sure, it's a documentary.
I don't think that shit's.
So what is real is the game called Block Ness. That is real. We just played
We'll
it
see.
minutes ago.
I need to talk to the people who don't think it's real.
Yeah. So the Block Ness, it's a family weight game, and you're basically trying to use your Loch Ness monster or Block Ness monster to control the lake, which Natalie did.
Yeah, she did.
So each player starts with 10 body pieces of a Loch Ness monster or Block Ness monster, a head and a tail. Okay. All of these pieces vary in height and length, and you're basically just taking turns adding segments of your Block Ness monster to either the head or the tail to essentially extend that Block Ness monster.
That's right.
And you can put these pieces over the top of other, so it kind of becomes this like intertwined. I guess intertwined would be the only word. I'm
Yeah.
trying to
Kind
think
of
almost
looks like
like
a plasticky version of that railway, that game that we play with the toothpicks,
Can we play with the toothpick?
Tokyo Highway.
Oh yeah, like
You
a
know what I
Tokyo
mean?
Highway.
Like,
Sure,
it looks
there's
like
like
a cacophony of like different,
Right.
like
it was like
interconnected
bodies
things.
of the Loch Ness monsters like weaving in and out of
yeah,
the water and each other.
It looks cool.
looks
Like as you're
cooler than
playing it,
Tokyo
it's a
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you got the colors. And, yep.
and they're plastic.
Has
And you
cool
basically
colors.
just keep adding pieces and adding pieces until you either can't add pieces or you run out of pieces,
Yeah.
which is what Natalie did and beat Ryan and I.
Yeah.
We had one piece left, which you
that the
couldn't
game where I
play.
kicked your butt in?
Oh, is that the game I kicked your butt in? And that's it. And it takes what 15 minutes
Right.
to
Or
for
20
me to
minutes if you
explain and
with
play.
Ryan.
Yeah. Natalie was giving Ryan a hard time on how
That's all she does.
how long he was taking.
I'm gonna
to
give you a
place.
hard time
He's
later.
like,
Me and Jeff are like,
penis.
maybe I'll play
Yeah.
this one. Nope,
He
this
means
one.
both.
And Ryan's like, let me test out every single piece I have in every single spot.
But anyway,
just
what's
call
cool
me
about the game is it's played entirely in the box. So the footprint of the game is however big a box is.
Yep.
Right? You put
Yeah.
this little pegboard on the box and you're adding these pieces onto the pegboard.
Yep.
And it creates this awesome scene and it's just fun.
It's sweet.
Like again, it's not gonna be my favorite game ever. It's not gonna like guys got this heavy strategy game for you. Let's
Right.
play Block
Yeah.
Ness.
Yeah.
But it was just fun.
a light strategy.
Like
it's
you
just a
said,
light
it's
strategy
a,
game.
it's a
Strategy.
good filler game.
It's a good filler
It is
game.
a good
It's
filler
fun
game.
and it creates some laughs and we had
Yeah.
just fun just laughing at it.
The
I
only
think
thing real was the fun.
yeah, boom. Not the Loch Ness monster. Ryan's
the
gonna go back
Loch
and
Ness
change his
Monster.
answer.
No, yeah, I don't know why. I think I was just messing around. I mean, do people actually believe the Loch Ness Monster is real? I really want to know now what Emily wants to say to me
Okay.
Yeah.
about this.
Tell her to call
If
you
you
up
believe
and,
the
like,
Loch Ness
like,
Monster is real.
Talk to me about why you think it's real.
Send an email to the Gamecasters podcast at gmail.com.
Nice.
Nice.
Although he's never messed it up. It's just me that screws it up.
Yeah.
So we shouldn't be that surprised.
Yeah, or
Why do we have to
any
make
of
it
our
so
Instagram
complicated?
accounts.
Yeah, I really want to know this, though, because I guess I haven't looked into it too much. All I know is there's one photograph with a neck sticking out of the water in the Lake of Loch Ness in, Scotland?
Scotland.
And then there's people who've been like, I saw it. But if it's that freaking huge, this lake is not that big.
Yeah.
It shouldn't be
That's
that
why it's a
difficult to
mystery.
verify.
Right.
Maybe it's got underground tunnels that
why
lead
it's
to other
bullshit.
lakes.
Like go scuba diving and look
Yeah,
for
just
it.
go see it.
Should
Is
just
it
be
there?
like right
Yeah.
there.
Should be there.
So
it's
that was Block. Would you guys have anything to add about Block Ness?
I thought I was surprised at how much actual fun I had, despite being berated and harassed by my wife. I thought it was.
I did not. You make me sound so mean.
I enjoyed testing out all the pieces I had to figure out what the best move was. And it's not a game that's going to give you analysis paralysis. So, like Natalie mentioned, my turns were so long. Her turn was probably 1 second. Mine was like 10 to 15 seconds.
10 to 15 times longer.
Yeah, 10 to 15 times longer. But
that's
so, I mean, the game for 3 of us took,
you.
I don't know, 10, 15 minutes,
Yeah.
if that, and it was fun. It was just cool because it's like there's a lot of games that you play that are fun to look at after they're over with. Like a lot of people like Agricola because at the end, whether they win or lose, they have this farm they've built. This has that sort of similar thing where like as you're playing it, you're like, this is cool because it's really cool looking.
Yeah.
And you just want to take a picture of it afterward, which I did.
Yeah.
So it's fun. I liked it a lot. I thought it was good. I mean, like you said, it's not gonna like win any awards. You know what I mean? It's not like
it's like a fun little filler.
It's just a light strategy.
Yeah, I think
it's good.
Natalie, you have any other thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you guys. I thought it was fun too, and it was fun at the end when like to follow like the path of the body that my body took.
Yeah, it's like a goofy.
Yeah.
The
colors are really cool, and I liked it a lot.
Yes, it did not have normal player colors.
Oh, it had my favorite 4 colors. If there's a game that has 4 colors.
You would
black,
want it to be
orange,
these.
purple, and green. That's the best for me, personally.
So it's a good, I would also say if you're looking for family night game, right? Like,
be a good
playing
game
with kids, I would say like, Cameron Lexi play it, 8 years old, probably around that age, could probably play it.
For sure.
Oh gosh, younger, I think even.
And it's just fun. So check that one out. Coming out soon. It's one of their summer family releases, but this one I think will probably be their best of their family.
Ness.
Block Ness.
From Blorn.
From the Blornge.
Awesome. Do you have anything else, Jeff? Or
Nah.
you want to move on?
Blornge sounds like something from
Blornge is a new
Futurama.
Blork? Yeah, it does, doesn't it?
What's the thing that's
Poplars?
no
Slurm?
orange?
Slurm. Tell the Grunkalunkas I hate them.
Tell the Grunkalunkas I hate them. Well, I'd like to talk to you now for a minute about the Gateway Board Gaming Network, which you can find at www.thegatewaynetwork.com. The sole purpose of the network is to help new or up-and-coming content creators grow by shouting each other out. If you go to the Gateway Network website, you will find other amazing content creators who are trying to grow as well. They're all amazing people who produce fantastic content. It's very exciting, due also in large part to our merch store. Yes, we've got a merch store, which you can find at redbubble.com/people/Gateway Network. There you can find so many amazing items from a large portion of our members, tons of items you didn't know you needed or want, and you probably don't want either of them, but all badger you ceaselessly until you eventually cave in and buy that whatboardgame.com shower curtain I've had your eye on.
Oh my god.
Today I'd like to specifically highlight all the lovely people from the Superboard Sunday podcast. Brian, Christian, Frankie, and Jim. These 4 peeps put together a podcast you've probably heard me proudly pontificate on in the past, and they talk about all manner of things from board games to media to putovers to stealing ideas from our show and playing games with the other hosts. It's a veritable smorgasbord of content and is just a lot of fun to listen to. So please take some time out of your day that, let's be honest, isn't really that busy anyway, and go listen to the sultry sounds of the Superboard Sunday guys wherever podcasts are found. We love them over here and really can't wait to hear what you think of them. Actually, don't tell us, tell them. Whatever kind of content you're looking for, the Gateway will have it. If you're a newer board game content creator and you're looking for a way to grow your content, please consider heading over to thegatewaynetwork.com to learn more. If you ever wanted to support the show but weren't quite sure how to do it, maybe consider flushing your money down the Gamecasters toilet by way of our Patreon page. There are 4 different tiers which will eventually get you access to behind-the-scenes content or exclusive content or content ahead of time. You will also get swag that nobody else has access to and just the opportunity to help out and support a podcast which you sometimes listen to. We have 6 amazing patrons so far: Emotional Cyborg, Jim Gamer, Mr. Days, Lewis, Mr. Measles, Mick Dave, Mick, and Swoozle. Thank you all so much for your support. I promise we'll start upping our game in the next few years. If you'd like to donate to help us pay for things like hosting fees and that second circumcision Jeff's had his eye on, please head on over to patreon.com/the Gamecasters to help out. You need that second one. The first one didn't take. First one didn't quite take.
Mind your own business.
This now takes us to Natalie's Nook, which is not a defunct e-reader Natalie bought from Barnes & Noble, which I also think doesn't exist anymore. No, it refers to all the cracks and crevices in Natalie's brain that have discussion topics dying to come out. What do you have for us today, Natalie?
That's so funny because yesterday I was like, I need a Nook, and he was like, you mean like the reading device? I was like, no, like Natalie's Nook.
Natalie's Nook. Barnes & Noble exists.
Are they still around?
I think that's the only
but the Nook
one.
doesn't, right?
Oh, probably
I
not.
doubt
I think
it.
the Nook is gone.
Was that
But
their
I-
brand?
That
of
was their that was like the Barnes
Kindle?
But
and
I
Noble.
think
e-reader,
Barnes
yeah.
and Noble's like the only chain
So
bookstore
Borders
left.
is
Yeah.
gone.
Well, Books
Borders
a
is
Million.
definitely gone.
Books a Million's out there still.
Barnes and Noble exists. Barnes and Noble also has like board game sales a lot. So if you're actually like,
Yeah.
they only carry like 30, but every once in a while
they
you
have
can,
Yeah,
something
you
good.
can get
Books a
some
Million
steals
had a
in there.
bunch of board
Yeah.
games too, like hobby board games.
Is Books a Million a chain?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Do they have
I only
a
know about
million?
that
Do they have a
one, but
million
They got a
books?
million books. Well, they call it a million words at least.
Well, that's
Probably got like
barely.
billions and
That
trillions
barely
of
counts.
Yeah. Anyways,
words. What's the Nook?
the topic today on Natalie's Nook is playing games online versus in real life.
Oh, I got thoughts.
Ooh.
I know
I
you
wish I would have
do.
known that. I wish I would have known that before. I would have had more
You would've
thoughts.
written stuff
Didn't you have a
dizzled?
song for her Nook?
I did. What was
yeah.
it? Natalie's Nook. Natalie's Nook.
don't remember.
Crawl inside Natalie's Nook. It's wet in here.
Oh my god!
Okay.
I don't like that.
Write
song.
that time down. Cut that out.
I like how Jeff every
time-
episode is like
Never
you're gonna cut that out, and then he never does.
Never does.
That's one of my
Never
favorite
happens.
He's like,
things.
ha ha ha.
That'll show him.
Yeah.
I'm going to say it's wet and I'm going to leave it in there.
I am the decider.
Oh
All right, so what do we got now? What games versus dry games?
What are we nooking?
Online versus IRL in
Oh,
real
IRL
life.
games.
Oh, IRL games.
So I'm pretty sure. I mean, we'll find out, but I'm pretty sure that all three of us prefer to play games in person. But with the pandemic and not being able to be around people as much this past year, I'm sure there's tons of people who haven't really been online gamers who started playing online, including us. I wanted to have a discussion on why you prefer online versus in-person gaming, and also just wanted to bring up, and maybe we can discuss this too, the fact that there are so many different like iterations of online gaming. Like you can play on an app, you can play on like Tabletop Simulator or Tabletopia, you can play on Steam, you can play like I think Jeff just did this, like you play on your actual board game but on Zoom with other people who have the actual board game at their house.
Did do that.
Two, I think some of these options are better than others, but nothing really compares to playing in person. There's something about the social interaction and the feeling, the components, and there's also a big deal, no chance of any
Finger
technical
pads.
difficulties when you're playing in person.
Except maybe a rules mistake.
So what do you guys think about online versus in person?
I'm going to let Jeff take this one
I'll
first.
say I have more thoughts, but let's start a discussion.
Okay, well, listen to this.
Listening.
I don't like it.
I know you don't.
Yep, I knew he did.
Now, I'll tell you why. Let me start by saying that I get it. I understand why people are playing online, like playing online. I get that. It's not that I'm like, well, I don't even understand. I get it.
Yeah.
I get that it's like,
don't
I
have
have
to
friends
explain it to
all-
me. I get it.
okay?
I get it.
He gets it.
Okay? You have friends all the way across
Leave
the
him
country
alone.
and you're playing
Yep.
and you don't want to get COVID and I get it.
He understands.
Okay? But I just don't like it. Okay? My love for board games is only trumped by my love for playing board games with people in person. It is so much more fun playing with people at a table, laughing, making decisions, waiting for somebody else's turn, joking, whatever. The entire experience is so
Singing
much
those
better
songs.
in person.
Yeah.
That I think that I would almost, this is a bold statement, I don't know if I would rather not play a game than play it online.
Yeah, I feel like that you do feel that way.
And I'm in the minority, for sure.
Yeah. Well, I feel like
Maybe not.
there was a lot of times where we were playing some TTS games throughout the past year, and you were always just kind of like,
Yeah, and okay, and I understand that I am lucky enough where my wife will play some games with me, right? So we have weekly game night now where the two of
Right,
us
so
will
you
play
got
a
your
game.
game fix,
So I
though.
have that.
Yeah.
If I didn't have that, my opinion might change. But because I have the Monday game night with my brothers and some friends, and then I play at least once a week with Devin. I have that. So maybe that's why I just don't want to
didn't
play
feel the
online.
need.
Yeah, you've been keeping up with the game group,
yeah.
so you get
Yeah.
that multiplayer fix as well.
Right. So this is now my admission. I am so clunky on TTS that everybody that's been playing for a year on Tabletop Simulator are so good at manipulating and flipping and doing things where I feel like I'm such a spaz that the game that should take an hour takes 3.5, and I'm frustrated by it because I don't know how to pick up a fucking meeple or turn a card over, or I tapped something and it went over there. So I think if I started to play any online game, it might be on like Board Game Arena. It might be on BGA where the game can run itself and I don't have to like flip cards or shuffle a deck. Like I don't want to do that virtually, right? I did play through Zoom, well, Google Chat or whatever, with the Geek Sheet Gamer and the Bearded Gamer, Kelly and Justin.
2 members of the
Gateway Network. So Devin and I played with Justin and Kelly. We played, what's that game called? Grand Austria Hotel. We played Grand Austria Hotel where...
Such a good game.
I set up the game on my end, and they basically copied it. And every kind of like, they had all the cards kind of splayed out on their table. So every time a card came up, they just like took it out of play, or they took it into their hand. Yeah. And it worked way better than I thought it would work. And it also kind of gave me the feel of like, you know, I'm manipulating the game. I'm putting things, I'm touching it with my finger pads. I'm putting that hotel room on my space. I'm flipping the cards over.
Yeah.
And I can talk to another human being over Zoom, right? And I know that people play on Discord and like, oh, we can talk. I know the arguments. I get it.
He understands,
okay,
guys.
I understand it.
Why
Just
is everyone
shut up.
back Why does everybody think he doesn't
opinion.
understand?
I get it. I understand.
The man knows. I don't understand why everyone thinks he doesn't.
God, I get it.
Leave him alone.
So go ahead and tell me why it's awesome.
Sake.
Do you want to go?
Sure, I'll go. First of all, I agree with almost everything you said.
Thank you.
Down to
See, I told you I get
the
it.
letter, and I don't even understand it.
I get it.
Jeff gets it. I don't know. I agree with almost everything you said. That said, my threshold is higher than yours. And I think that's what it boils down to. I think because you have played games online with us.
Yeah.
You do it.
Yeah,
you know, you just played from Justin to Kelly. and you did it. You know what I mean? It's not like, well, I'm just going to be a grumpy Gus and just
Right, and we played Forgotten Waters.
Forgotten Waters.
And so you do it, right? My threshold for playing online is a lot higher than yours.
Yeah.
I am... I don't know if it's used to TTS. I played a lot of Star Wars Destiny on Tabletop Simulator with Jeremy.
Oh.
A lot.
Have you ever heard of that game?
It's
think so.
I'll talk about it at some point in the future. It's a pretty decent game. That might or might not be the best game of all time. And and so I got really used to how to manipulate things so much that it's second nature to me.
Yep.
And you know, I know all the keyboard commands, so shuffling decks is nothing. Picking up a component is nothing. I know exactly how to grab things, how to do things. So there's a learning curve that I can completely understand you not wanting to take the time to get to the level
or you don't
where
play
I'm
enough
at.
to remember it.
Like you don't play, you don't have the desire to play on that platform enough that you would get good at it. Where I really like playing games on that platform or Board Game Arena or Steam. I enjoy it. It's not that much. I just think my threshold is a little higher than yours might be, or other people's, because I don't think you're as alone as you think in this. I think there's a lot of people who do not like to play games online. I've had a hard time finding like people that are like friends that like, let's play online. They're just kind of like, you know, I'm not really my computer's not that great. You got to have the good hardware. You got to have the time, you know, and I can see people just like, that's not how I want to spend my time.
Right. I feel like Jeff is like I don't really want to play online, and you're just like, I prefer not to, but I also go okay.
Yeah, I don't mind it. So on stream, back when we were streaming like multiple times a week, which I'm hoping to get back to. Yeah. You know, Natalie and I would play games with Janelle and Sam.
Yes.
And I loved
that was awesome.
We would use Discord for, you know, the audio, and then we would just all get into the same tabletop simulator game, and we just had a blast. You know, it was a really good way to play with people we wouldn't be able to normally play with, which I think is the plus for online gaming. Which Jeff understands. He gets it.
I get it.
He knows.
I understand. I get it.
Being able to play games with great friends that we don't ever get to play with in real life, like Sam and Janelle, or Sam McMeeple, or we played with Chris Wilson that one time. We would never play games with those guys because they just live in different states, and the only time we would ever potentially see them might be at something like Gen Con, and we don't really play a ton of games at Gen Con anyway.
Yeah.
Right? So that, to me, I love the fact that, I can take a game on Tabletop Simulator and it's usually free, which is awesome.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
You pay Tabletop Simulator cost of $20, and then you can just pretty much get any mod for any game. I mean, not any, but there's most of them, and it's free. And
I get it.
You don't want to only do that, and publishers don't want that, right?
Yeah.
Tabletop Simulator is bad for the board game industry in that way.
Yeah.
So I would encourage you to not exclusively play on Tabletop Simulator where it's all free and stuff like that, because you're just really not helping the actual companies, maintain their income level. However, I love doing it. It's really fun for me. Of course, I would much rather be in person. There's nothing. So it even goes to stuff like recording the podcast. For the beginning of COVID, we would record the podcast remotely. Mm-hmm. And honestly, I thought it was great. And then one day, Jeff came over and we did it in person. And I was like, oh my God, this is so much better.
Yeah, it is.
Which is weird. But because the dynamic is just different.
Right.
But you don't really notice that until it's actually happened. So that's how I feel about online gaming. I think it's great. I love it. But nothing beats playing in person with your friends.
Yeah.
Those are really my thoughts, I suppose.
You took a lot.
Jeff understands all of that, by the way.
I get it.
You said a lot of the points that I was gonna make. Well, I don't like playing games solo ever, and so I don't ever want to play games on like apps on my phone because I just don't enjoy that. The best part about board games is the interacting with
you don't have
other
to tell
people.
Jeff.
I get it. What do you not get about me getting it?
I'd say here's my ranking.
Okay.
Lowest, playing games on an app. Yuck.
Well, can you tell me why? What don't you like about that?
Because I'm playing it solo.
But are you saying that the game itself is not fun?
Yes.
Unless you have other human beings to play it with?
If it's like a board game app, yes.
Okay.
I just don't.
You don't like it?
I just don't like it. The only one I've really played more than a few times was Patchwork. And even that is it's just a lot more boring when I'm just playing on an
There's
app.
honestly only one. The game I've played most on my phone is actually Lost Cities.
Yeah.
But honestly,
really?
that game just feels like a card game.
It feels more like
if I just downloaded an app and
Right.
played Euchre or
Yeah.
Hearts,
Solitaire,
Spades, it just feels like
Minesweeper,
that.
whatever.
But
I'll play those because that's a solo. That's I'm playing against myself kind of thing. But I'm playing Patchwork against a computer, and it's just not.
Do you think that's
fun.
different than if you were to play? Because I know you don't do this either. But what if you played a solo board game in person?
No, I don't have.
But I mean,
any...
is it analogous to you?
Yeah.
Is playing a game
So
on the
that's the
phone?
same.
So it's not necessarily the digital version of the game that you don't like. It's just playing a game solo.
Yeah. Right. And typically on board game apps, you're playing against a computer or basically by yourself.
Yeah.
You're not playing with your friends.
So I enjoy doing that sometimes.
Yeah.
Does that
and
also lump
and I
into
don't.
if you went on, because you can go on Board Game Arena and they can just match you up with random real humans playing online? Is that fall in the same category?
Yeah.
Because you're not
to me,
having any
a real
human interaction.
that I
Yeah.
don't actually speak to or anything is basically a computer.
I'm with you
know
100%
what I mean?
on that. I would so much. It is so okay. If I went to a convention, say alone, I think I would be so less likely to play a game with people I don't know. I'm so it's almost
I'm
not
very-
worth it to me. I only care about playing games with people I know and love.
Yeah, same here. Well, I mean, my whole life I've always been shy and have some social anxiety around people I don't know. If I know you, zero of that. But if I don't know you, it takes me a bit. And so I would never just go into a game store, that has game tables to play at and
Hey, can I play?
play with people. I wanted to do that for a while. Before we were together, I thought about doing that, but I would just get too freaked out, and I'm I couldn't bring myself to go there alone. I was nah. And then TTS, I don't like it as much as you. I'd say it's okay. It's again, like you guys said, my biggest issue is how finicky it is to move around the pieces, and it just it's frustrating to me, and it just feels way more work than it should be. And so like you said, the best part about TTS is playing with people all around the country, people that we've never even met in person, but we're like kind of friends with through the community.
It's a good facilitator for that, yeah.
And the fact that we could find ways like Discord or Zoom or whatever to interact with them makes it Tabletop Simulator so much better, because you are actually having that social interaction, even if you're not in person.
Yeah.
That is like awesome about it. But I don't like, I remember when we would play with like Sam and Janelle, a lot of times I would be like, can we just play like a Steam version? Because I don't want to have to like deal with picking up all or there's certain games like Miyabi. Like I love Miyabi, but I hated playing it on TTS because I couldn't get all like the pieces to sit in the correct spot on the board. And I was just like, ugh,
You're right.
like,
Some
it was just
games lend
annoying
themselves better
to me.
to it than other ones, for sure.
And then a notch above TTS to me is the Steam games. Like, those are like an app, but playing with your friends, like through TTS. But it's more streamlined, you know, like you don't have to like pick up every single card. You just choose which one you want, and then it does it all for you, or you know, that kind of
the
stuff.
The downfall with that would be the expense.
Yes, right. But then that costs
actually,
money. But that is more enjoyable to me to play. That is my favorite way to play an online game if I'm going to play an online game.
We played Sagrada that way. It was great.
It was so awesome.
Yeah, you might even...
That's how BGA works, right?
Yeah.
Board Game Arena's got all the...
It's like, Steam is even a little bit cleaner than BGA.
Yeah.
Because BGA is more like, it like puts things... Like, you still manipulate a lot of stuff, but it puts it on like rails for you. Where like, Steam is like the actual app version of the game, you know?
Yep, but like...
I think it's more money. Because BGA is free too, right?
Yeah, I think you can pay for some games, but I think the vast majority of them are free.
Yeah.
Yeah. But anyways, but playing in person is by far the best.
Everything.
Yeah, it's the best.
I mean, that's the reason that I feel like we all got into the hobby in the first place, was it's a way to hang out with our friends.
Yep.
And we're doing something, engaging ourselves.
Yeah.
You know, it's like that cohesive. Let's bring it back to Chopped, okay? It's that cohesion that you get, you know, like when there's like this meal that like the things don't totally work together. Board games is the perfect way to incorporate our love for being social with our love for play.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We can, like, we've all, for years, I mean, we played poker for how long?
Yeah, years.
That was the thing. Before that, we would have Halo parties.
Yep.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And now we found board games, and it's just, that's...
I mean, I've always liked playing board games or any games, but like for somebody who would have like some sort of social anxiety, you know, if you go to a party and you just have to like chit chat with people you don't know or
Small
something,
talk's the
like
worst.
that sounds horrible to me. That sounds like the worst. But if you're like, I don't really know you, but I'm here with a few of my friends, but I don't really know the rest of you, and we sit down and all play a game together, I feel like connected now. I feel like I have a connection with you. I'm not just like trying to think of things to say so I don't look awkward.
Yeah, it facilitates
you know
all that. It's like, okay, the game can take precedence over your social anxiety, and then you just participate, and then now you have a new friend or somebody you hate more than anything. Because there's people to play games with that suck.
Yeah.
You know? Luckily for us, all of our friends that play games, good. Are good to play games with. But there are people that suck, which could be a completely different topic.
But anyways.
Good topic.
Thank you.
Good topic.
Yeah, I like that a lot.
I think we just need to understand that I get it.
Jeff, if you take anything away from this conversation, Jeff understands exactly how we all feel.
He gets it and he still doesn't like it.
I get it. Okay, I understand. I get it.
He knows. Stop explaining it to him.
I get it.
Every day anyway.
Next topic.
So today we are playing a new game that I have entitled 5. I'm going to name
That's
5 genres of games, and it's your job together, the two of you, to name 5 games in that genre, and you have 5 minutes in which to do it.
Okay,
5 minutes to name 5 games?
In 5 genres.
Oh, like the whole game's 5 minutes.
So there's a little more to it.
I need more paper.
I got it. Let me get my trusty dusty stopwatch.
Yeah.
It's dusty because I haven't used it in a while. It's just an app on my phone, you guys. It's not really a stopwatch. And let me find it. I don't know. Oh, it's the clock, right?
You guys listen to Date Night Dice? They always have a hard time finding their stopwatch app when Ben has to explain a game in 30 seconds. It was a very hard time finding the stopwatch app.
I got it.
All right.
Yeah, it's on my
it's not
clock.
just
It's like
it's
my
not
clock.
just you guys.
Yeah. Okay. I should have it prepared.
Wait,
but,
so
let me tell you the rules. Okay. So I'm going to go through 5 genres of games. Each genre So I'll list a genre, and then you guys together have to name 5 games in that genre. Okay. Each of you must come up with 2 on your own. You can collaborate on the 5th. Okay, but so Jeff can't just name 5 games and you just sit there like, well, I'm on his team, so I win, right?
Yeah.
You're going to be like, Jeff will name 1, Natalie. However you want to do it, you each have to do 2 on your own, and then you can come together
2.
for the 5th one. Okay. If you cannot do it in the 5 minutes, nothing happens to you at all. If you can do it, yay! Hooray, you've won.
So are you going to name like one genre, then we name them, and then you name the next genre?
Yes.
And then we name Okay.
Yep. And if you're stuck, I'll move on to the next genre. Like Jeff can write stuff down.
Yeah.
Oh man.
I don't think it'll be that difficult, but some of them will. Okay, like it's not going to be like you're racking your brains forever, but so you can think about it where you have about a minute per genre.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right?
Minute of genre.
Okay.
I
Are you
don't
ready?
know what these genres are.
Yeah. Here you go. Genre
Comedy.
number 1. Well, so
This one is a dramedy.
I say genre, but it's like sometimes it'll be like
A mechanism, yeah.
and
I
stuff
got
like
it.
that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so here we go. Now, genre number 1 is roll and writes.
You want to go first?
Okay.
Timer has started.
I'm gonna
You go first.
Roland Wright.
Roll and write.
Oh,
Is it roll and write? That's
Roll
1.
right. Yep.
Natalie, you have to say one.
You got it?
Okay. Rolling right.
No, don't say Roland Wright. Say a name of a game that's a Roland Wright.
Is Twa Dice one?
Yes.
Yes.
Twa dice. Twa
Quicks.
dice. Quicks.
And On Tour is another one, so that's our other one.
I need one more.
So that's it. Quicks, On Tour. Natalie's got to get one, right?
You named 2 already.
Okay, yep.
Oh.
You named Quicks and
Why am I
Roll and
blanking
Write.
on this?
That's the game.
Well, On Tour is the one that we're collaborating on. How about that?
Roll and
That's
Write.
3.
All right, so Natalie has to get this one.
So I like roll and then you're like write stuff.
How much time do we have?
You got.
We got some time.
You
We're
got 20
I'm
seconds for
like
this one.
blanking.
Maybe it's a game that you have a dice and you color something or draw
Second chance?
something in.
Okay, I'll count
doesn't have a
second
dice.
chance.
That doesn't
it's
have a
flipping
dice.
right technically,
Something
but
and
we're
right,
counting.
okay.
Okay, number 2, flicking games. Specifically
Crokinole.
flicking.
Flick 'em up.
Flick 'em up.
Ooh, specifically flicking.
Yeah. specifically
Catacombs.
flicking. Catacombs.
Flip ships?
Flip ships. Now you can collab on this
What's our
last one.
Flicking.
Oh,
Flick-
what about like Tiddlywinks?
Tiddlywinks.
No, that's
Does that
not
count as
flicking.
I don't think so.
The Grand Flea?
Yeah, the Grand Flea is a flicking game.
Okay.
Jeremy's
All right, that's
We'll go with
5.
that
Okay, that's good. You nailed that category. Rolling right somehow. I kind of had to give you. Okay,
Oh my
number 3.
God.
Number 3. Card drafting.
Card drafting. It's a Wonderful World.
1.
Sushi Go?
Sushi Go.
Okay.
7 Wonders.
7 Wonders.
Oh,
3.
God. Dang.
I can't tell her anything.
Is
Okay, I'll wait.
Ginkgopolis? Not really.
No.
I mean,
Okay.
you do there is a draft at the beginning, but no, we're gonna say no on that one.
That's like the passing around the cards and stuff.
I'll give you a clue.
Yeah, take
I
a
just bought
card, pass
game.
it.
For me?
Not for you.
Well, basically.
The initiative?
Nope. Just look around. Maybe there's one over there.
What? I'm bad at this game.
That's awesome.
Card drafting. Okay.
Should I say a third one while Natalie
Yeah, go ahead and say
Hadara
it.
is another one.
Hadara is the one I was trying to get you to guess. All right. So, but that was your collab. So now you have to get the last one on
Okay,
your
so
own.
we gotta like
You
pass
take
the
something and then pass it.
cards,
Yep.
And then I pass it.
And we're going with it has to be cards, not other
card
things.
drafting.
Sushi Go Party.
Fine.
There you go.
Fine. A little bit suspect, but okay. I was gonna eventually give you Ginkgopolis, I guess, because there is at the very beginning you can draft for something. Okay. Number 4. Push your luck.
Ooh.
Oh. Ink and Gold.
Ink and gold.
Can't stop.
Can't stop.
Quacks.
Quacks
Okay,
a
that's what I was
Quedlinburg.
hoping that you would
Yeah,
say.
yeah, nice.
Okay.
You wanted her to say it.
Yeah.
Push your luck.
One more for Jeff, and then you get to
Okay. Gotta just push it.
collab. Push it.
Gotta take my luck and
Push
I gotta push it somewhere.
Gotta push that applicator.
Oh.
You're doing really well
Or
right now.
pull it.
You still have like a
Do you have
minute.
another one in your head?
You're a
for
minute
your,
ahead of
your extra
schedule.
one?
No.
Or our
but
extra
I
one?
will try.
I think if you think hard enough, there's 3 of them that you should be able to.
Yeah, there's like a million of them, but under the
but
pressure,
of course,
it's just
yeah.
not fun.
Right.
Look around. Look
Might not be
around.
as many as you think,
Look, is there any like little?
but there's
tiny
definitely
ones? Like
at least 3 that
Ink and
Jeff
Gold size?
knows.
Megaland is one.
Okay, that's not the
Okay.
one I thought, but that's,
Okay,
is that
that's
the Ryan
one.
Lockett?
Yeah.
Okay,
Megaland,
now you can
push your
collab
luck.
on this last one.
Oh,
All right,
geez.
push your luck. You gotta push your luck. You gotta get lucky.
Those
you
are
gotta
ones I
push
don't
it.
really like. All I can think of is Ink and Gold.
Any game that Natalie
Thinking
hates,
gold.
we've probably talked about them. You just
Yep.
keep doing something until you want to stop.
We did just get rid of one that I like, you didn't.
Who?
I think Jeff owns it as well.
Oh boy.
Push Your Luck.
Jeff owns
Yeah.
3 of these that I have written down.
We have to get something quick.
4 of
Gosh. Yeah, like right now.
Maybe we'll come back to it.
Yeah.
Let's come back.
Okay, come back to it. All right, and the last one, auction games.
Auction. Modern art.
Modern
What
art.
I was gonna say.
Oh man, I shouldn't have said that.
Homesteaders?
Homesteaders.
Yeah, that counts.
Very good.
I just played an auction game and it's called something.
Ooh, something. That counts.
Okay.
Yep, something counts. If you have one, keep say yours.
Yeah, you give it
auction.
Oh my gosh. You could do this. Too much pressure.
One of Jeff's favorite games of all time.
Homesteaders.
I think it might even be favoriter. Maybe.
Ooh.
Maybe not.
What's that one? The Princes of Florence.
Princess of Florence.
Oh,
Good.
okay.
That's 3.
Oh man.
So that's Natalie's 2. She's got Homesteaders. So Jeff's got to get one more, and then you can collab. You got about 20 seconds.
Oh my gosh.
You can do it. Come on,
I'm trying to
guys.
think of
Bidding
another
on to buy
Think of a boat.
Or-
Jeff, a boat.
boats. What am I trying to get? Auction.
one.
Think of
Yeah, auction.
diving.
We still need to Push Your Luck. We're not gonna make it.
Oh, the Push Your Luck. Let's go with. I'm gonna go Deep Sea Adventure.
Deep Sea
Oh,
Adventure.
good.
Very good.
And then
2 seconds. 2 seconds.
whatever.
Oh, you got
Two.
so
I know, we still needed
close.
2.
You got so
Two
close.
more options.
Okay, I thought you might have said Keyflower.
Oh yeah, Keyflower.
For
Medici.
Keyflower's a good auction game.
Keyflower is the auction game. You got Push Your
Oh
Luck.
man.
You got everything. You just
Yeah.
needed 2 more. For Sale is a good auction game.
Ooh, that is a good one.
The Estates is a
Oh.
good auction game. Ra
Yeah, there's some good
has
ones.
good
huh?
ones.
any of those.
Cyclades or Cyclades, however you pronounce that.
I don't know.
Biblios.
Man.
Those are good ones. You guys got so
pressure.
close.
Oh,
2
man.
Pressure.
and there was
right
also
there.
a couple that like probably shouldn't have counted, like
No,
Sushi
I mean,
Go and
alright.
Sushi Go Party.
Those are technically 2
separate
different games. Good job on Deep Sea Venture. Other Push Your Luck's games were what I thought you were going to get was Celestia.
Oh, okay.
That's the one that I just got rid of because you didn't like it. And Deep Blue.
oh yeah, Deep Blue.
Formula D. Have you played Formula D?
Okay. I don't know if I've played that.
Yeah, okay. And then like Ra.
Yeah.
What about Push Your Luck?
That's
or did
what
you
I
already
just
say
did.
that?
Oh,
That's
like,
exactly what I
No,
just
no,
said.
sorry.
Nidavellir is it? That was the game I was trying to think of for auction. That's,
I gotcha.
Oh, okay.
Yep. Yeah, auction. I had written down
Damn.
Medici, Modern Art, Homesteaders, Keyflower, Princess of Florence. I was very proud that you got that one. For Sale, The Estates, Ra, Cyclades. Flicking, I had Crokinole, Catacombs, Flick 'em Up, Flip Ships, Pitch Car, Rampage, and you guys nailed that one. Second Chance
Yeah, that
for Rolling Rights.
flicking thing.
Quicks, Roll Through the Ages, Twa Dice.
yeah.
There's a.
I feel like we had played
I thought you were going
so
to say
many.
Crisscross. That's what I thought you were going to say.
Crisscross. I
Tag
was like,
City.
I feel like we
Talk about
played
Tag
so
City.
many for a while, and I couldn't think of a single one.
I know.
Yeah,
that
well,
was
it's
great.
like panic in the
Yeah,
moment.
you're like,
man. It's hard.
what do I? Oh, geez, you nailed flicking and you nailed.
That's it.
That's all I got.
Well, you got Push Your Luck. You
Eventually.
You basically, yeah, you were doing good. Nice job, guys. That's 555. Hopefully, you had a good time. I like
Yeah.
that you got to collab there. For today's top 5 list, we are going with my boy Uwe Rosenberg, the man, the myth, the Facebook friend of Jeff. I went
Yay.
through my list and I've played 21 of his games. Well, 20 actually, because I had included. I wrote this before we played. I thought we were going to play Hallertau. We didn't.
I knew you
So
weren't.
20 games, which I
saying we're gonna play
think
for like 2 months.
qualifies me to make a top 5 list. So here we go. We're going to go Jeff, Natalie, and me. Jeff, go ahead and preamble it up with your Uwe Rosenberg list.
Listen, I
gets it.
I get it. Okay, my Uwe Rosenberg or Baby Uwe or Uai, however people call him, is not a great list, and here's why. I have not played his big box games in my recent gaming career. Like in years and years, it's been a long time since I played anything like Agricola, Caverna, Le Havre, or Labora. It's been a
Hot minute.
5 years probably since I've played any of those games I just listed.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that would put them out of my recent memory and thus nullifying
your
anything
list.
that's good about my list. So that's why I'm going
you have a
first. So
list,
my
and that's
list is
what
done
matters.
first. My number 5 is Hallertau.
Oh, really?
You know that it won't
Yeah.
be on our list.
And I think it will not be on your
Well,
list.
okay, it won't, not yet, but we will append this
If it,
after
if
we
it
play
jumps
Hallertau.
in.
Yeah.
So
if it jumps in, we'll append.
Hallertau has also got me in the mode of wanting to get his bigger box game and get to the table more often. So I just got Newsfjord.
Good game.
To
Really
get that
good
there,
game.
which I think based on just looking at the rules and looking at the game, that would probably be in my top 5. I also am really wanting to play A Feast for Odin with someone.
Good game.
And yeah, so that's
you
where
have
that
that?
is. I don't,
Okay.
but It's like $80 everywhere, so maybe it goes on
big,
super sales somewhere. Who
It's
knows?
really big. It's a good game.
So that's my number 5 is Hallertau.
Nice.
Nice.
Natalie, what about you?
My number 5 is Patchwork.
Really?
Yeah.
I expected that to be much higher. I don't know why,
really?
but I did. Yeah, I expected that to be much higher.
So I played 18 Uwe Rosenberg games.
Okay. Patrick made it all the way to number 5.
And Patchwork is one that I feel like I would always be down to play.
Yeah.
There's a lot of... I like a lot of his games, but after making this list, I was like, there's also a lot of games that I don't really care for that much either. That I'd like played once and I'm like, that's good enough.
I don't need to play it anymore.
Yeah, but Patchwork is not one of those, and so it made my list.
All right. Very good. Well, I basically, like Natalie, I've played 20 Uwe games, and I'm very surprised at how my list shook out. Very surprised. My number 5, which surprised some people on my... This is going to be interesting, but my number 5 game is Cottage Garden.
Wow.
Of those
3.
Of those 3, that one was my favorite. I think that I put that as my number 2 or number 1 polyomino game.
I think so.
On the polyomino list, which is interesting with how this list shook out, which we'll talk about in a moment. My number 5, Cottage Garden. Jeff, what's your number 4?
Patchwork. Natalie, what's your number 4? Yeah, it's just a great game.
Yeah.
So
Patchwork's awesome.
Yeah.
That one kind of
hits
just
the table all the time, and it's just it's a wonderful
that was one of those
game.
games that came out and it was like, boom.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. My number 4 is Nova Luna. I know a lot of people aren't big fans of that game, but I really like that game, and I think it's really fun. And when I think of things and like comparing it to like Raycole or New York Zoo, like I would much rather play Nova Luna.
That does surprise me a tad. I don't think I thought you liked it as much as you do.
I do.
We've played it a few times, and I like it a lot too. I think it's a really good game.
Yeah.
I didn't expect it was going to be that high. For me, my number 4 is Patchwork. Now this is weird because I do think that I rated Cottage Garden higher than Patchwork in my polyomino journey. However, time has gone by, and as the dust has settled, my feelings on Patchwork have not moved at all. My feelings on Cottage Garden, I'm just a little off of the high.
Yeah.
That's all I'll say. So I think that's why this shook out that way. So that's my number
Makes
4,
sense.
Patchwork. Jeff, what is number 3?
My number 3 is a game called Glass Road that is getting, I think, reprinted or something or another.
Yeah,
soon.
it's getting another. It's been out of print, right? So it's getting another.
Yeah, I don't know if it's a run or if it's. I don't know if they're updating anything with
I
it.
think I don't know. I don't remember. I did just read about that, but
That's one of. So that's I would say a smaller of his big box games. It's quicker. It's easier to learn than a game like Hallertau or Caverna or Agricola even. But the game is kind of cool. I like. There's this. Everyone starts the same set of cards, and then. And correct me if I'm wrong, I believe in every round you play a card, and if you have that card, you have to follow. Like it's a follow game. So I like having that plan, but also having to be tactical if your cards are getting played out of order.
Yep.
It has that broom service feel, which is an awesome game also, but not by
Is it
hand.
though?
It is. Maybe that's the game that you need to apologize to in a future
I'm
episode.
not apologizing to anything.
So that's my 3, Glass Road. That's it.
Very cool. Very cool. Natalie, what about you? What is your number 3?
My number 3 is Fields of Arle.
I thought that would be in there.
Yeah.
I did think that would be there.
so that is...
Great game.
So...
I think you would like that a lot.
Ryan
another one I wanna
and I
play.
only played that once, and I played it like several other times.
Who's she playing games without
before
you,
that,
bro?
Annoying.
and,
She's just annoying.
I played it so many
when
more
we-
times than
So
Ryan.
many more times than Ryan. Ryan played only
If
one.
it's not on his list, it's because I played so many more times.
Here's my point in saying that is you weren't a big fan of it, and I had already played it. I felt like enough times for me to be satisfied with it. We
Yeah.
ended up getting rid of it, but I liked this game. And correct me if I'm wrong. I'm remembering this wrong,
I
but
remember
like
everything about it.
it's like a big box
played way more than
game,
you.
but it's not like
It is.
It's not. There's not quite as much as like Feast for Odin or Caverna or.
There's a lot.
That box
There's a
is
lot.
massive.
There's
at least
really
stuff.
There's a lot.
There's a lot of.
Nothing is as much as a Feast for Odin. A Feast
Yeah.
for Odin is the biggest,
I
the
feel
most
like
stuff.
there's a lot of stuff, but it's all fairly like simple. There's just a lot of choices or options.
Well,
That's usually what's great about his big box games. They're all
Yeah.
kind of like
It's
that.
cool because it's 2-player only.
Yep.
Yes,
So it's a
that was
2-player
cool
only
too.
game, which is awesome, and it's one of the heaviest 2-player only games on the
Yeah.
market. I would say
I would like to play that one too.
It's
I'm sure
good.
great.
I
It's
enjoyed
really
it.
good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Awesome. That's your number 3. My number 3. We're going the opposite scale. Is Agricola. All creatures big and small. I really enjoy
Yeah, you
this
love
game.
that
Another
game.
2-player only game. I really enjoy this game. I have both expansions, and the expansions just add more buildings. So there's just tons of variety. Because if you have just the base game and you play that, I don't know, maybe not even 10 times, it gets a little samey. And so these two expansions just samey. So these two expansions just add a ton of more buildings. We haven't played that in a while, and I would really like to, because that's a fun game. Agricola, all creatures big and small. Jeff, what is your number 2?
The animals bang
Whoa.
Well, and pretty much every Uwe game, the animals bang.
What do they bang with, Natalie?
each other.
A penis?
Penis.
She said penis, but she means boner.
And Scarlett would say agina.
Agina.
Vagina. It's
Remember the other
gina.
day?
Yeah. Oh my god. I was like, she was running upstairs and I was behind her and I was spanked her butt. I was like, I got your butt. And she turns around and she tries to hit me in the front and she's like, I got your gina. And I'm like, no.
He's a boy.
In your face. Yeah. My number 2 is At the Gates of Loyang.
Awesome. I knew you liked this one.
This game is good, and it's also very, very good at 2. So if you're looking for a 2-player game, again, this is not like the heaviest of games. It's not in the Hallertau Caverna
But it
conversation.
does have some meat to it.
But it's
a
meaty
hard
and
game.
You know, you're trying to manage like these long-term customers and these short-term customers, and how do you? I just think it's a cool balance, and it's a fun puzzle. But again, with maybe less stuff, but the puzzle is there and it's good.
And it's a game where 1 point on the score track is massive.
Because you win like with 20 points, right?
Yeah.
Is that the top or like something like?
But if you have 20 points and I have 18 points, it looks like, oh, you only beat me by 2. But really, to get to 20, it was a massive. So you really won by like
a massive effort.
a ton. Yeah. So that's an interesting score on that one. Awesome. Natalie, what about you? What's your number 2?
Okay.
I have a feeling our top 2 are going to be similar.
Yep. I think they probably are exactly the same.
Maybe in different order.
I honestly my 1 and 2 could be interchangeable. They're just so different, but I love them both equally. My number 2 is Bonanza. That game is just so freaking fun.
I believe his first design.
Yeah.
It is so fun. Like, we've played that a ton. And it's just like, and I don't even like games where you're supposed to be like negotiating and like,
you don't.
But that game, for some reason, I love it.
Probably because you can only negotiate with the active player. It's not a free for all.
Yeah,
like
that's
Chinatown
true.
or
right. And for some reason in that game, I always feel like I know what I want and I know what I'm willing to give up or not give up, and it's just like works for me, and it's always like so fun and silly, but I don't know. It's just a really good game. But
yeah, I don't like it nearly as much as you, but I'm with you 100%. Yeah. Awesome. My number 2, Bonanza. Just kidding, everybody. I love that game. The only complaint I could ever levy against this game is it has the potential to go on a little bit too long. That happens sometimes. You're playing with a bunch of people. It can go on because you got to go through that huge deck. Yeah. I think you go through it 3 times. It shrinks. It shrinks every time, but still, it can, for what it is, it can go on a little long. If you're playing with the right group, and you're talking about what business you're going to get into, it is so fun, and it's one of the best. It's one of the best games ever. It's in my top 20. Did it crack my top 10 this year? I don't remember. It's definitely in my top 20. I love that game, which is so funny because, as Natalie was just saying, it is the opposite of what Uwe Rosenberg is known for. Yeah. He's known for the Hallertaus, the Feast for Odins, the Cavernas, the Agricolas, the Ora et Laboras, the Lochs. He's known for those big, resource management, economic farming simulators. Yeah. And this is a card game about beans.
Right.
And it's awesome. It's so awesome. If you haven't played Bonanza, get Bonanza. It's cheap. It's a little card game. Just go get it. It's great. All right, Jeff. We've come to number 1.
Do you guys know what my number 1 is?
Bonanza?
So, let me tell you. I am sure that my list would be different if I played more of the Cavernas and the Agricolas more recently.
Yeah.
My number 1 is Bonanza.
Tell us about Bonanza.
Well,
it's just so fucking
about
fun.
Bonanza?
Yeah.
It is,
though.
And I think, again, it might just be the people we're playing with, but singing about beans and laughing about getting the chili bean business. Yep. And it's just, the game is just encourages fun.
It
and
does.
At the end of it, you don't care if you win or lose.
Well, because there's moments where you're like, I see you have 5 coins, I have 5 coins, and you're like, I need a chili bean. And I'm like, well, I can't do that. And then all of a sudden, someone over there is just like, here you go.
Yeah,
or
I don't want
you
it
just
in my hand.
It.
Yeah,
and you're like,
give someone something.
But it's so.
Yeah,
it's just great.
Fun.
It's a blast. So if you have a good game group, that this thing should hit.
Yeah.
Well.
You need probably 4 players at least.
Minimum. Yes. Yeah, it's not
to play
fun
this.
with.
I would say 5 and up is where it gets
Yeah.
great.
And it's so fun.
So if you're looking for this for a date night, no, it's not a 2-player game. There is a 2-player version. There's a you can buy
Don't
it.
get
It's
it.
the Bonanza
I
with
can't
2.
imagine
I don't know.
it's as
No, there's
fun.
also
There's a
some
dice
other
version, which apparently is fun. I've heard that. It's called Werfel Bonanza.
There's
Heard
some
it's fun.
expansion like Gangsters and something about
Yep.
beans.
Yeah.
It's
We
dumb.
had the Gangsters
We had
one.
that.
It's not fun.
No, you want base
Just play the
level
base.
Bonanza.
Just go get the
with
coffee
5
beans
or
and the
up.
Jimmy beans and the.
Yeah, and the
just
pinto
get all those
beans.
beans.
There's no pinto beans. And the blue beans. Yeah, it's
Cocoa
such
beans.
a good game. All right, Natalie, what is your number 1?
I'm sure it's the same as yours.
I don't think
Let's
so.
say it at the same time.
1,
3,
2.
Oh.
Okay, ready? Let's do it again. 3, 1.
2, 1.
It's Caverna.
Caverna.
It's Caverna.
I mean,
I've heard people pronounce it Caverna. I hate that.
Me too.
It's not Caverna. It's Caverna.
yeah.
The
Like
A changes the word cavern from Caverna to Caverna. Stupid idiots.
Idiots.
Yeah, so Caverna and Bonanza, like I said, are so drastically different
So
from each other.
What are you talking about?
But they're both equally
About the
as
same, right? You just
Well, it's
said
about
it.
farming.
great to me.
They both play 7.
Caverna is just like, I mean, I played Field of Arl, I played Feast for Odin, I played, I haven't played the big Agricola, but like all of the bigger games of his that I've played, Caverna is by far the best one.
Yeah.
Most interesting, the most fun. I played with Tom Vassell the first time I played
I beat
it.
him.
It's just a really great game, and kind of like Jeff, when I like look at the list of 18 Uwe Rosenberg games I've played, like these 5 like clearly stand out to me. Like a bunch of these that I've played, like I don't really remember, which I know is not like unusual for me.
Definitely not.
Nope.
But you know, for them to stand out, that means that they really hit with me. And
Yeah, for my list, I was very surprised that Caverna is by far, it's the only big box game in my top 5.
yeah,
Which is crazy to me. Now, it's funny, Uwe's games, I feel like every one of his games has like a different pronunciation, like a battle with the pronunciation.
yeah,
Like
Yeah.
people cannot say Agricola.
No.
Remember Eric used to call it Agricola?
Yeah, Agricola.
People call it Agricola.
Agricola.
Yeah, it's Agricola.
Yeah.
That's just Agricola. That's the only way to pronounce it, okay? Caverna. It's not Caverna. It's Caverna. Newsfjord, pretty simple. It's Feast for Odin. It's not Feast of Odin.
yeah.
You're not eating
that Odin is
Yeah.
delicious.
Yum, delicious
What part
Odin.
of Odin would you like?
Right. I think it's La Havre.
The
I hate
thigh.
people pronounce it La Havre. I don't
Yep,
like that.
La Havre.
No. Please pronounce it La Havre.
What about Hallertau?
Hallertau. Right. Not Hallertau, Hallertau. It's Hallertau.
Mm-hmm.
Hallertau. Pronounce it my way, please.
Oh, hey.
My way or the highway.
What else is there? It's patchwork. It's not patchwork. It's patchwork.
Bonanza.
Copenhagen.
not-
Copenhagen.
Yeah, Copenhagen. No, Copenhagen.
yeah,
Agricola. Yeah, but a lot of people say a Feast of Odin.
I know.
Nope.
Okay. Talk about why you like
Delicious
Caverna.
Odin.
He just likes it. He just did.
Oh, Caverna is... Okay, so I played Agricola.
Yeah.
Agricola, it's too tight for me.
Tweet.
Feeding is like the most stressful thing in a way I don't like it. And then it's got all these cards on top of it. So
Yeah.
it adds this complexity to a situation that it's already incredibly hyper stressful. And some people love that. I think Ben and Em have played Agricola
Yeah, that was
50,
like their
60 times.
on
They
first
love
game
that.
or
They
something.
they probably love that.
Yeah.
There's a because I will say that the variations in it are incredible. What I like about Caverna is it kind of takes everything I didn't love about Agricola and replaces it with something else. So there's no cards now. It's building tiles, which I love that. You get to just kind of pick how you're going to do it. You know, you don't have to. There's no card draft for what you're going to do. You don't have to like make a plan. You can just kind of like get resources, get buildings, and they do stuff for you. The feeding is infinitely easier. It's still there. It's still a clear and present danger with Harrison Ford, but it is definitely easier. And so you don't feel you feel more like you're playing the game instead of surviving the game.
Yeah.
Right? Agricola to me always felt like I was suffering through it and surviving it and barely surviving.
All
and
the excitement of 14th century farming.
Exactly. But Caverna feels like you're actually in control, and I just like that infinitely better. Also, I like the theme better. I think the part about building your cave is just cooler. Sending your dwarves out onto those missions is just awesome, and that's the reason I like that. So I'm just very surprised he's my boy, and the lighter games are the ones that are more featured on the list. Which is interesting.
He's your boy.
He's my boy. Did you want to talk about You look like you have your notebook open for some
In case you wanted to talk about honorable mentions.
I don't care, but if you want to hit us with it, hit us with it.
I don't care.
Honestly, like the 5 that I listed were the clear top
winner.
for me,
Clear and present danger with Harrison Ford.
Like I mean, we played all 3 of the Cottage Garden, Indian Summer, Spring Meadow ones, and I honestly was like, which was the one I liked the best? So I was like, clearly that doesn't stand out. Ray Colt we didn't like.
That sucked.
Newsfjord wasn't. I didn't enjoy that as much as you did.
Yeah,
I didn't really enjoy At the Gates of Loyang that much. I don't remember Aura et Labora at all.
I like that one too.
Yeah.
That was
we played so long ago.
We loved it.
We liked
we never
it,
came
but
back to
I can't remember it because it was like,
oh man, I could tell you
5 or 6 years ago.
He will later.
Yep.
Caverna Cave vs. Cave was meh.
That was kind of meh.
New York Zoo meh.
New York Zoo
Second
didn't even
Chance-
read as a Uwe game to me.
Second Chance is awesome, but not as good as these 5 games.
Yeah, I don't think it's top
just-
5 game. That's great.
Yeah.
Awesome. Do you have any honorables, Jeff?
No.
Okay. So that's going to do it for us tonight, everybody. If you'd like to get a hold of us, you can find us on Instagram at Gamecasters or at Mad Board Gamer. We have a Facebook group. Just search Gamecasters. You'll find us there. You can email us at thegamecasterspodcast@gmail.com. I'm not going to mention our Board Game Geek Guild. If you like the show, we'd love it if you consider giving us a rating on Apple Podcasts or anywhere else you listen to us that allows you to rate us. We've also got a Patreon. If you want to support the show, feel free to head on over to patreon.com/thegamecasters. There is also a merch store where you can find all sorts of different Gamecasters, Mad Board Game, or Gateway gear. So head on over to redbubble.com/people/Gateway Network. So for Natalie and Jeff the Mad Board Gamer, I am Ryan, and you have been listening to The Gamecasters. Good night, everybody. Oh, yeah. I almost forgot about our super secret giveaway. If you made it to the end of the last episode, you may have heard the super secret song. We received your entries and have selected the winner from all the lists of candidates, and congratulations to...
Drumroll.
Nestor. Congratulations, Nestor. You have emerged victorious and guzzled the blood of your vanquished enemies to receive a collection of cardboard and wooden tokens.
Yay.
We'll be in contact with you soon about your winnings. What is the game, you all might ask? Only Nestor will know, which he can then decide on his own if he wants to share on his social media or the Discord if he so chooses. Be on the lookout, everybody else, for more giveaways from us, you scurvy dogs. I just wanted to end it with scurvy dogs. I really wanted to say scurvy dogs.
Well, now I have to say it. Oh, you did it.
Oh, scurvy dogs. Oh, heck.
Oh, heck.
Oh, no.
Oh, no.
Oh, damn, I killed her.
Oh, I just hit her in the head
right there with the hammer. Oh, geez.
Oh, heck.